It's time to dust off your and get ready. It's M&C Morning. They're back in the better than ever.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to M&C Mornings. I'll tell you right now, crap, I'm a little bit more upbeat than usual because we've just actually gotten a chance to do so much gaming this past weekend. I spent so much time with the community. How you been, buddy? And I know you're just getting back from work, so how's your morning commute?
Well, it's pretty good. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. I get up super early on days that I got to work on Sundays, so I can get done and head back in time to do the show. And it's always funny because I got to get up like super early, so I didn't get to really do any of the gaming night stuff. I know it was it was the different crew that runs it every other week. So yeah. It was the Quest podcast guys with Goldblum and those people. And I was all ready to just at least hop in and say hi. And I had my headset, and then I fell asleep. So, yeah.
Listen, you know what is funny about it, though? I mean, we've been trying to get so much of the Beam thing started. And Beam, we'll get into it today a little bit. Beam really has upped their ante on people as far as if they want to be, what is the actual word? They're not a presenter, but a Patreon of their own on Beam. You have to have so many subs and so many live viewers, and I kind of get it from a business perspective.
They changed it.
They did recently, right?
They just now changed it. It was like you needed 300 followers and 30 active live people in the chat.
Right
now it's like 700 or 600 followers, and
that's not
50.
An easy task, though.
Yeah. And, well, you know what? Like Next Gen, right? He's been on that grind on there. I think he does an exclusive podcast on there now too.
Okay.
He's been gaining steady followers and things like that. He's actually doing pretty well on that.
Yes.
I think it's actually a really good time to get in on the ground floor on that. I'm of the belief, like he's an OG. Yeah. You know what I mean? I guess we would be too. Like, I can't technically stream with my connection, but I'm there when we stream Friday nights. So, I mean, obviously.
Well, it's an interesting take, right? I mean, anyone who's listening right now in the audience, and we'll let some of the audience kind of shift in. It's Sunday morning. Some people are still stirring their cream and sugar. But here's the thing. You have to look at Beam almost like when you invest in silver in the United States, right? You take your hard-earned money and you go put it into an account of some sort, and you want 2%, 3%, 4% back annually on this investment. And the thing about, like, when you invest in, like, U.S. coins or silver, you won't see 3 or 4% for almost a decade. So my point being with Beam is, Crap's the one who had to kind of explain this to me. You do anything else, even if you just do a YouTube channel and you put yourself out there for 2 weeks on Twitter, you're probably going to get 100 subs, which is a decent return back on your investment of time. But with Beam, it really is like what Zair's doing is the steady course to success. Yeah. You have to stream every day to get that little bit of investment back. And I'm not talking about even financial. I'm talking about just support. So what I'm going to be doing, I told Crap, we're always going to be doing Mooch and Crap and J-Dub's broadcasts on Friday nights. And actually, you know what? Before I get into that, Jay, how the hell you been, buddy? We've been talking a lot this past week, too.
Yeah, no, everything's been good. Been playing with some new hardware and trying to get things perfected for the show. And, for only pennies a day, you, too, can help M&C Mornings perfect their show.
Can't you see Jay just sitting Indian style in Canada with a Labatt's Blue and an empty cereal bowl? For just pennies a day.
You know what's funny, though, is yesterday, because a lot of people don't realize that probably more so than any of the other shows that we do or we've done, Mooch, yes. we have to plan this one, and we do meetings and stuff with each other and test things out. So yesterday was the absolute worst, most angry I've ever seen Jay. And I messaged Mooch. I was like, Jay doesn't sound too happy. And he's like,
no, he didn't.
He's like, no, because we could not get stuff working right. And I come home this morning and everything's working pretty well. I mean, I'm not 100% sure.
What nobody realizes, though, Crap, is God is just ordered one of our M&C Mornings T-shirt. He's a fan.
Yes, I mean, he's a fan, of course.
Yes,
obviously.
Yes. Because everything just worked. It wasn't working yesterday. Jay's like, is this working? And we're like, surprisingly, everything is working. So, like I say, chalk it up to the big guy upstairs.
He sounded like Starscream yesterday.
I did. He did. I'm not doing that on the air. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
That was great. You guys, what we're talking about is a little bit of Mooch and Crap insider stuff where we actually we do a lot of footage and recordings. Jay has all this on his scrap floor. his edit room floor. But I think one day we're going to put that out there for the Patreon folks.
Yeah. I think that stuff's gold. Like
yesterday was classic.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, we'll give you a little bit of hint. Like we do the top 10s ahead of time and then we give the raw audio to Jay, and Jay edits it together. Well, yesterday's top 10, it was totally bad because Mooch kept messing up.
Yep.
And so it was like we just do it on one long take. And so it was like, okay, Jay, you have to do this and fix this. And I asked Jay, I was like, was it bad? He's like, yeah, don't do that to me again. I was like, oh, how bad was it, Jay?
Well, everything was good until we got to the end, and then he decided to do number 10 again, and then I had to cut the end and then paste it in the front. And yeah, it was a little bit.
I was like Christian Bale in that that video that escaped, and he's like, "Oh, good for you."
I was just looking at the light.
It wouldn't have been so bad if I wasn't trying to concentrate on editing and the hockey game at the same time. But I'm going to blame you guys for the reason why the Montreal Canadiens got beat up by the New York Rangers last night. That's your fault.
New York! But, no, what I was going to say was, no, it's funny. It seems like, and Jay, I'm only pointing the finger at you because I talk to you so much, but so many people on Twitter are from Canada as well. Hockey playoffs completely shut down Canada. Like, Canada's closed for the next month. If anybody needs anything or you haven't gotten a Social Security check from them in a while, just wait till July.
April, May, June. May, June.
That's right.
Yes, you're stuck. Your face is stuck on the TV, and it doesn't matter if it's your favorite team or not, because like now my team's gone. I've got 2 or 3 other Canadian teams to root for. I guess I'll jump on Toronto's train right now, and I'll root for them for a little while, and then if they go out, I'll go on to Edmonton. And God, we don't have as many teams as you guys do, but we have a lot more snow and ice, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, even Noof, like Noof Nukem, he's Canadian, and he's always like, yeah, I gotta watch my I don't know what the hell team he watches, but the Oilers, is that a Canadian team?
Yeah, probably Edmonton Oilers. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's his team. He's very excited.
So he's super excited about that. Also, hey, we did game night, like we said, we've been streaming on Mooch's Beam channel. Yes. So you guys could follow that. Like right now, I don't know if you put it in the link, but you probably should have, Mooch. I'll put a link in the description.
You know what? I will. I'll do that. Yeah. As we're in the midst of this.
Yeah. So I played Diablo 3 for the first time, and it was wild. We played with GKB and She-Wolf, and it was a bit wild because they were super high levels, and me and Mooch were level 0s.
Right.
And so they were just like, okay, well, we're just going to run you through here and level you up to... Well, first of all...
you got the cliff notes of Diablo 3, okay?
Yeah.
Because let's be... Here's the thing. So I've got characters that are grinded as high as She-Wolf and GKB, but as far as doing the rifts and the seasons, I haven't done any... I didn't have a character built for seasons. So what was really neat, and I'm going to let Crap tell the joke because he owns this one, but I'll tell you right now, we were both starting at 0 and going through. I didn't realize we could advance that quickly. But Crap, tell everybody what the prediction was and what it actually ended up being as far as leveling to 70.
So they were like, yeah, we'll get you leveled up to 70 so we can do some rifting and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Rifting, I have no idea what that is. But She-Wolf goes, yeah, we'll probably get you to level 70 in 10 minutes. And then 3 hours later, I was like, longest 10 minutes ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it literally took us 3 hours. But I mean, still, that was pretty good. And it was funny as hell. So,
well, you got some great gamer score out of it too, Crap, which made you pleasantly...
I ended up like 250 or something. It was pretty damn good.
I would say this much, though, Crap. If you want to go back to Diablo, I would say start another character at 0 and work your way through the campaign. I mean, that's something I would do. I've done it now. I've walked through the campaign with like 3 or 4 different characters now. It's a lot of fun. You'll get to 70 if you make it through the game. And you get an achievement for bringing each character to 70, which is a lot. That's probably not going to happen in your world with the time frame and the games you have. But I mean, nonetheless, the game is a lot of fun. I think the story progresses. And the one thing we didn't get to enjoy in Diablo 3 by doing the rifts and the season was that you didn't get to enjoy all the artwork and the amazing detail that went into each of the level designs.
That game looks amazing.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. It was like that day one.
And all the colors and just, it was like really, really did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah,
just absolutely amazing job in my opinion, and yeah, like for the first time playing it, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like at first, I'm just like, yeah, you know what I mean, because we couldn't really hit people because we weren't leveled up enough. And then once we started hitting higher levels, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. You know what I mean? Like it reminded me a lot of Gauntlet on the Dreamcast, which I absolutely loved. So
loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty damn awesome.
Well, go ahead, Crap. Go ahead. I
was gonna say before we go into the whole like whatever else we got to do, I figure we should do some of the shout outs, eh?
Yeah, let's do a shout out, eh?
Yeah. So shout outs to my shout outs. So first of all, Josha Z. Yeah. I mean, Alex H, Lethal Papa, Longshot, Mark D, Jackal, Justin B, Max S, G Man 209, Delilah HD. We know her. She's awesome.
She's great.
Robert B, John S, Jarrett, Snoopy, Silent Bob, the Doug crew, including Stick Viga. Thanks for supporting us. Adrian A. Thank you guys so much. Christopher M. Mark Boyle. Let's see. Frodo. I know that these people probably don't really. Actually, these are a little bit below the tier, but still, shout out to Dreyer and everybody that supports us. Even if they just support us in the chat or whatever.
There's been so many people crap. I do want to say, like, I'm it's funny, guys, just so everyone knows, week to week we alternate. Crap does one week on his channel. I do one on mine. This one's on my channel, of course. And I'm a little bit more in tune with the chat when it's Crap's week, because I'm just making sure that anything Jay needs or anything he has in the group chat that I have to pay attention to, going through my notes. So I do want to do a quick, this has nothing to do with the actual Patreon, but guys like DJ Singh, William Ramos, these are guys that have been with us since week one. Crap, we got Lethal Pop. These guys are all like, Mooch, what's up? And I'm scrolling all the way up in the chat because I haven't gotten a chance. Animalia Freak. These guys are great people. I want to say thanks for being with us
Matt
today.
Jones, he's like, I bought their shirts, and
he did.
Our boy Def Jam, he bought shirts, and like just seeing everybody that's been so supportive with the Patreon stuff. Again, some of it's taken a little bit of time. We did our first Patreon exclusive podcast.
Yes.
And that I thought went pretty well. We're going to give a little bit better idea of when we're going to do those going forward. We kind of were rushed with Easter and things like that. So we're like, let's do it Monday. And then Monday was no good. So we were like, how about Tuesday? And so we kind of did it that way. But we're going to do 2 of those a month. And I think that those are pretty good. You know what I mean? People like the show. It's a little bit different. We got the banter going on and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that we've got some cool tiers and things like that. It's just taken us a little bit of a while to get it kind of going. And even though we have some Patreon support, we don't get any of that for the first month. They hold that back. So you won't see the improvements, or we're going to do our first game raffle at the beginning of next month.
Yep.
So.
And I really like that. I want to reiterate that what we talked about last week, Crap, that we said, before we were going to just pick a AAA game that came out for the month. But what we'll do is we'll just say whoever wins that drawing will ultimately get to pick the game they want.
Yeah, whatever game you want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll tell you something, Crap. I don't know about you guys, and I want to get to a couple of voicemails. I don't want to let those linger.
Or if they want a year of Xbox Live or PlayStation
absolutely.
Plus, I mean, it could be that too. Whatever they want.
Anything that's up to that, that's, what is it, a $60 value?
Yeah.
Crap. I think that would be fine, whatever they decide. My point being was I just really like the game Prey. And I know the reason that you're probably like, where the hell are you coming up with that? Since it's going to be a game that comes out in May, I went and looked at it because I've just been playing. Anybody who follows me on Xbox Live knows I've been playing a lot of BioShock. And I just can't get enough of it. I won't go on that rant. But Prey is supposed to be something that if you're in that BioShock genre, you like that world. Of course, it's futuristic. It's not going to be a 1950s setting. But at the same point, it's not like Rapture, but it's got the same mechanics, the same kind of vibe. So I don't know, Crap. Is that on your radar? Because I'm telling you right now, if nothing changes, unless something a catastrophe happens, Prey is probably a day one buy for me.
Yeah. You know what? When's that come out?
May 5th, if I'm right.
Yeah. I'm going to download the trial because they say there's a trial with that. The problem is that I'm backlogged like crazy right now.
Yeah.
I have, well, as you know, Hellhammer won City Skylines and Rand's giveaway. So that means I have it too.
Yes.
So that was a game that I'm super interested in. I have Yooka-Laylee. I have Voodoo Vince, which I am almost finished with that. I still have Mass Effect, which I'm not done with. I'm heavily invested in MLB The Show.
Yes, I saw your review. Great, 9 out of 10. And I agree with that, Crap. And actually, you know what? Listen, this is the power that YouTube has, Crap. Let me just go ahead and pad your stats here for a second, because here's the thing. I saw Crap. I normally wouldn't have done the Road to the Show part of MLB The Show 17, but I think after watching your review, I will start that story base.
Yeah.
I was just playing as the Mets and going through a season, but I found the difficulty not to be too difficult. So I want something with a little bit more story, maybe a little bit more, no pun intended, but throw me a curve here. Give me something to do in the game that's besides just throwing balls and strikes for 9 innings. So
Yeah.
long story longer, your review was very good. It was very detailed. And, you know, people always say this is the image that I'm trying to let people understand. From day one, we've always said if Sony puts out a great game, we're going to stand there and applaud it.
Yeah.
And crap, your review is nothing but glorious applause.
And you know what's funny? I didn't even have bullet points. I was like, you know what? I've got footage. I'm going to do a review. So I was just like off the cuff. I reviewed it just what I was like, I had remembered because I just got done playing it. And I was like, you know what? It was funny because I'm a closer and I want to be a closer so I could feel that kind of frustration with the team wouldn't let me close. Like they have me as a setup role. So, and in the second season, they only brought me in like 9 appearances or something. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? So when you talk to your, you have a person that deals with you, like an advisor or whatever, an agent, and they're like, oh, are you happy? And I'm like, no, I'm not happy with my role here. You know what I mean? So I get traded and things like that. So
right.
I like that detail for $60. I feel like that game is really good because I wouldn't probably buy that game new every year, but since this is the first one I bought in a little bit, I feel like it's well worth it, and they've changed it up and it looks great. You know, I think the game looks like the parks and stuff.
Well, you said it yourself. The best part about the game is the fact that if you walked by the screen quickly and nobody knew a controller was in your hand, there's points where you would think it's actually a game, and it's the controls you have over the characters. It's not like one of those games where you're like, well, it's really, really pretty, but there's nothing to do. You have complete control over these characters. It's amazing. It really is a marvel.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's absolutely great.
You know, I do want to get back to the Prey thing real quick. Now, you said that's something that – now, see, here's where I got to – and you've called me out on it, crap. I got to call you on it. So you went and bought Mass Effect when we still had all this back. See, Prey to me was a little bit more intriguing. See, Mass Effect, after 3, they're kind of veering off from the story a little bit, which is fine. I'm going to play Mass Effect Andromeda, but I'm going to wait till summer. But Prey's just going to get all this. I think it's going to do very well. I think it's going to be another surprise sleeper hit. And the reason I say that is, you know me, I'm anti-beta, things like that. But if they're giving you a demo, usually that's them kind of patting themselves on the shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, like it could be. I think that it's probably a pretty good game. It looks well done.
Yeah.
For me, you know, it comes out like a couple weeks later is the Friday the 13th game. And that game.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's got a hold. But that's got a hold. I mean. And tell me if I'm wrong here, but there's no way we're buying, because I'm buying Friday the 13th game as well. But when you get that game, there's no way you're gonna be like, I can't wait to just pop that in and play by myself. Like that's gonna be a stream night. That's gonna be a game night. That's gonna be a night where you actually have 4 or 5 people in a chat, and you're like, dude, you want to do that? And you know that's gonna have a level of repetition to it eventually. I think on game night or where there's a lot of people watching, it will be fun. Especially to get some of the ladies in the chat. That'll be fun to hear. Like, because if you don't believe me, IGN and other channels will have like a scare game where they have Naomi Kyle and somebody
it's always fun to have girls like
because they're like screaming and freaking out at the game, and it is kind of it makes the whole environment a lot more lively.
Yeah. Well, if you ever watched Fox and She-Wolf, they did the Resident Evil 7, and I thought that was hilarious. Right, like She-Wolf wasn't scared at all, but Fox was like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. You know what I mean? Like that shit is funny, and I think that's what this would be. Like you play it with your friends and you stream it, and you lock the chat, so it's just you guys, and then it's just like, you know, you see Jason, and then you run and you scream and you're freaked out and you're trying to get away, and I think they're really onto something with that game.
I agree.
So, I think that's going to be a perfect game to stream, and I'm looking forward to playing that game tremendously. I hear it's amazing.
The game grew on me. It really did. When I first saw it, I thought, here we go again, another 4v1, which, as everyone knows, I'm just not a fan of that whole thing. I'm like, this isn't going to work, or in this case, it's 5v1. But the thing is that, and me and GKB were talking about it when we were streaming Diablo. We kind of grew up with that era, right? So the whole Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, like that was really, really our era of horror. So to be able to play that, and the fact that they put so much attention to detail into the game, crap, that's what's got me so enthusiastic about getting into it.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I'm super looking forward to it, but I am gonna try Prey, and if it's good, maybe I'll win it on a Free Code Friday. Bum.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Mooch and Crap.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should send Larry a couple of Mooch and Crap shirts just for
I'm
fun.
Sure he would wear those. Absolutely. He's our biggest fan.
Absolutely. I can see him wearing it at the first Xbox on what is he? The Xbox Live show he does every Friday. I mean, I think ours go right into the junk mail. I'm not sure if we even get credited.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like Mooch and Crap when we were like, hey, we want to win Free Code Friday, and I even gave him like this past one was like, what's your favorite ID at Xbox game? And I'm like, iDarb. And then after I said it, I saw a bunch of people, like 20 people, go,
I
Idarb. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, man. Everybody gonna jump on my tip like that? Come on, Idarb. I was the one that was thinking Idarb because I like multiplayer games and it was kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was actually a really good, especially at a time when there wasn't a bunch of good indies or anything.
Right.
Like that was like a really fun game for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm going to bypass Crap's statement, and I'm warping into the future by 45 minutes. If everybody doesn't want to hear Crap say it later, hit that like button because that's how Crap gauges when you're going to get the top 10. So if we've got about 250 people in the lobby right now, hit that like button so that you don't hear Crap do it. But then again, I might have just actually encouraged him to do it more and more.
We hold them ransom, the top 10 list. We hold. Not only that, but we've been saying this every week, but we're actually working on other things as well.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining, we think.
Well, you said it, Crap. It's hard for us to put it out because we have the Patreon, but the Patreon, the effects of Patreon really won't hit. We have to wait 4 weeks till that kicks in. And then from there, we have the purchases we have to make to get Jay the equipment he needs. So, that's if anyone's wondering why isn't I'm not seeing that, we are working on them. We are spending hours throughout the week recording stuff. So
it's crazy.
It is wild. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as it starts getting, you'll start seeing it produced and put out there in May.
And we do have voicemails, don't we? I think we got a hillbilly. We have a hillbilly.
We do have a hillbilly.
Or he maybe prefers to be called a Hill William. Get it?
Yeah. I mean, I have to have those rim shots on deck all the time.
I know, because I can't use them anymore. There's no... They took my power.
Okay, so are you ready for our first voicemail?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, hello, M&C Mars, Moots and Crap, and J-Dubs. I really love the show. It's a heck of a lot nicer waking up to your voices than hearing my crusty old wife. And in the meantime, I got a question for y'all here now. I just wanted to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you guys rate the Xbox One at this juncture in its life cycle? And I also want to know, what is perhaps the worst piece of shit console you ever dumped your money on? Would love to know. Thanks, guys. Have a great show.
Hey, good to hear Cletus calling in.
That was great.
Let's see, the worst console that I've ever wasted money on. Possibly the... Well, maybe the Wii U. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we use a safe bet. I mean, myself personally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to boo and hiss, but for me, it was the PS3. I just didn't care for the PS3 very much, and the reason being is I'm going to start off with the controller. I know the
controller was the biggest piece of crap ever.
Oh, I mean, listen, when you step on, look, this isn't just controllers. I'm like this, and Tim Dog knows the kind of guy. I'm like 100% Italian. I like everything built solid. Like if you have hardwood floors in your house and I'm walking on them and they all creak and crank all over the house, like that bothers me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to pull a new controller out of the box, go to press the circle button, and it sounds like you're squeezing some sort of like plastic vinyl fence. It's like it just creaks and cranks and squeaks. That's just it just felt cheap out of the box. And then, of course, they did the same thing they're doing this year or this generation, where all the games are, heavily pushed. It's like an MLB contract, right?
Yeah.
Everything's just pushed to the end of the contract. It's like everything comes out the last couple of years. So when you had the PS3, there wasn't anything great. And then all of a sudden at the end, everyone's like, oh, look at all the great games that came out. Yeah, but I don't know about you guys, but like who stands in line that long when there's no product coming out for, you know what I mean? Like I just leave the line. So when people are like, oh, you missed out on this and missed out on that, I'm like, I didn't really miss out on shit. I think that you guys just waited too long. You turned blue in the face and you were happy with what you got. Yes, no doubt that I loved The Last of Us. And Crap, that's where me and Crap, one of the things we don't see eye to eye on. I like The Last of Us a lot. So yes, I did play that. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
To be fair, I have it now since I gave Hellhammer my old PS4. And we game share on there as well.
Okay.
And he had The Last of Us digitally. Because
I wouldn't mind streaming that multiplayer again. I'm sure we can get a couple people on there. Luca has it too, I believe.
On the second floor, she can play that. So I mean,
yes, not on the first or third.
Yes, the second floor, she can definitely play that, and yeah. So it's not that the thing is I don't hate the game. I just think that it's not the great game. And I never really touched much on the multiplayer, maybe a little bit.
Right.
Which, playing by yourself, obviously, you're probably not gonna have very much fun. Like just the story just the crutches of that game. Like, here, help her on this floating, thing across the river again and again and again. Hide behind
there
here,
was
throw a rock, throw a bottle, throw a rock, throw a bottle.
Yeah, there was heavy repetition in the game. There was. I mean, the thing about it, I think that gets me crap. It's another thing. I mean, you don't really watch like Walking Dead, right? Or you're not really into it.
I watched it up until the point where I did watch the episode where they killed Glenn and the redhead dude.
You watched it up until then and stopped?
No. I watched that specific episode because I wanted to see who got the baseball bat. But I had watched it up until the season where the governor and Rick, they spent the whole episode sitting at a table talking.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, this sucks. And so that was the point that I stopped. I heard it's gotten much better since then.
Yeah. I mean, listen, each season has, let's put each year into perspective. There's an 8 season. There's an 8 episode that goes on around October. That's usually the most thrilling the first 8. The second 8 kind of get you warmed up and ready for what's going to happen in October again. My point being is that, like, just like anything though, crap. I mean, when you have something that's on for 7 seasons, what show can you tell me has been on for 7 seasons and is just every episode was a Michael Bay explosion? You know, I mean, it's not always, you have to make a character get attached to a character before they end up killing that character. And then you're like, oh, you know, so like, I have to kind of build all that up. And I think that that's what they do very well. Yes, sometimes you do turn around, you're at the bubbler like that on Monday at work and you're sitting there at the water cooler and you're like, what the hell is this? I didn't think that was a great episode at all. And that's fine. But then it makes up for it with 2 or 3 good ones. My point being with the whole, I didn't mean to go into a Walking Dead rant, but my whole point with that was, if you like games like The Last of Us, okay? The Last of Us is not necessarily zombie-esque. It's more of that disease that kind of went through. And that's the 2 ways that kind of everybody kind of depicts the apocalypse, right? It's either a mass disease that affected people and they act like zombies, or it's literally zombies. So in this case, they slightly tweaked it, which I thought was interesting. I think in The Last of Us 2, they need many, many more enemy type characters. They only had like 3, I think, in the last one. They had like the crazy I can't remember. I had them all. I was just talking to somebody and I had all 3 names, but the clicker was the worst one. And then on top of that, there was just like these scavenger, like runners and things like that. And they need a couple more of those as they transpire through the disease. But the game itself is great. And I'll tell you something, crap, to this day, okay, I'm not going to say it's the best. It's not the best. But the most unique way of having a 4v4 in a multiplayer game, I still think that The Last of Us multiplayer is absolutely, it's grinding, it's genius, it's crafting, it's skillful, and it is team play. So I don't know, just think.
That's just in. Mooch loves The Last of Us.
Yes, if you haven't noticed, I love The Last of Us.
I thought it was a solid 7 out of 10, but Mooch loves it, and I get shit for that. Even though I loved Uncharted 2, I think that was almost as perfect as a game you can get. And then I thought Uncharted 3 was a bit of a mess, and then Uncharted 4 I liked, but I thought that again there was like a lot of issues that I had with it.
Uncharted 4. Honestly, let's just be fair, okay? For all the people and the critics that want to sit there and say that Gears of War 4 was too safe, Uncharted 4 was safe. It was just the same thing all over again. And the multiplayer, how dare Naughty Dog make an insanely great multiplayer like The Last of Us had, and then go back to the garbage that is the multiplayer in Uncharted.
We streamed that. I remember streaming the beta. It was bad. It was so bad.
The mechanics are sloppy. The game moves too fast for its own good.
You've got magical powers now.
They went off the deep end.
It took forever to revive somebody. Like, you're dead that's just a death trap trying to revive somebody. You're gonna get killed doing that. So
right.
I just thought that was like ridiculous. But I think we probably got another, since we got so many voicemails. Yeah,
we should hit a voicemail up because I think the questions, and thanks Cletus for that great.
I would say the Wii U, just because that's such a disconnected console. That wasn't even a good like partner console. Like the Switch can be considered a good partner console, you know what I mean? Because you don't even really, you can just play that whenever. But like for me, the Wii U was just like nobody had it, or if they had it, they quickly got rid of it. It did have some good games on it, but I hated the controller. You know, like it's not good.
No, it's not. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I think actually your answer is the better of the ones that I gave. J-Dubs, do you have actually one that you thought was not worth your money?
Game consoles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? As much as people want to shit on the Ouya, it is an amazing retro console because it plays all the emulators. The only thing I could say shitty about the Ouya is the controller. The controller really blows, but the device itself is sound. and it plays, it plays Androidish, mobile games, plays all of your emulators, and it runs Kodi so you can watch your movies and your shows. So
Yeah.
I can't shit on Kodi. I can't shit on the Ouya for that, but the controller, piece of crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I finally got my my Switch Pro controller. By the way, I forgot to talk about it. I got it about maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've kind of dabbled with it. But it's decent quality. But boy, man, does Microsoft have the market cornered on controllers? And I've been playing more PS4 as of late. Crap, that we did Drawn to Death, and we've played some other games. And man, listen.
Trying to get some use out of that thing.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Do you remember all the comparisons that came out on the 2013 reveal, and they were like, which controller's better?
Yeah.
Those people that said what I couldn't stand then, and it still irks me today, is how they were saying, oh, well, the PS4 wins because it was the most improved. When something smells like shit, looks like shit, it's usually shit. Here's the thing. They went from shit to a little bit better, shade of brown.
Yeah.
And my problem is that the Xbox One controller is bar none the best controller in gaming history. I'll go as far as to say that. And playing on the PS4, yes, did they make it better? They did. But again, it's still not great. And that Nintendo Pro controller is really almost like when you bought a Mad Catz version of the Xbox controller back in the day. You know what I mean? When you bought the knockoff one that was only $19.99.
Yeah, poor Mad Catz.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, sorry to hear. I actually am sorry to see them go. I used to buy a lot of their third party stuff. Back
for
in the day,
that week or two that shit worked, man.
The PS2 stuff that was pretty cool. Remember they had the Mad Catz had come out with the remote, the wireless controllers for the PS2. I thought that was the controller was the size of like your left sneaker. Yeah, but it was nonetheless genius at the time.
I think I have Mad Catz Dreamcast controllers still somewhere.
Yeah, but nonetheless, when you were playing Mad Catz, even if I blindfolded any of you in the chat right now or any of you listening in the audience, if I blindfolded you and said, is this a standard issued controller from Microsoft or Mad Catz? I guarantee you in less than 5 seconds, you could tell me if it was Mad Catz or if it was actually factory. And, that's my whole point with this is that, like, the Nintendo Pro controller is better than the Joy-Cons, but it still feels like an afterthought third-party controller. But bravo to Nintendo for at least making it compatible with everything. Yeah,
absolutely. I still don't have my Switch yet, but hopefully.
Please get the Switch, crap. I say that all the time. The problem is it doesn't matter. It's not like we're gonna both play Zelda.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'd actually like to play Mario Kart. I think that's a damn good game.
Well, they got me again when I went to go get the Pro controller. I'm standing there at GameStop. Hey now,
wow,
WNBC. WNBC.
You know what's funny is Jay, when you were away before the show, he goes, I think I can live the rest of my life without hearing WNBC.
WNBC. Yes, clear.
MNC Mornings. What's up?
How can we help you?
Yes. Hello. Greetings.
We should have
fellow
a pig
Earthling.
feed. Pig feed.
Yes. Crickets.
Can you hear him, guys?
No, we cannot.
No.
Okay, just give me one moment.
Sure. See, now, folks, I want you to know that this is where your Patreon money is going.
Yes.
To making Skype calls better for you. And Noof Nukem writes, WKRP in Cincinnati. Nice. Very nice. Thank you.
We need a switchboard, actually. That's the first thing we're going to get.
Yes.
Yellow.
Damn the Game Man 36. Hi, Moji Crap. We should spend a little time with the chat here.
Oh, yeah. Why does Crap always praise Switch, but doesn't have one? I can't find one. Hello.
There we go.
All right. This is
We can hear him.
We were hearing him.
Well, thank Microsoft for buying Skype and allowing this to be as amazing as it is.
You failed this city, Microsoft. Come on.
We heard him for a minute there.
We did. He sounded loud and clear.
It was perfect, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
That's all right. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. Actually, Jay, if you want, we do have another zillion voicemails. If you want to play another voicemail until...
Yes, we do. We've got one here from Evil Primate.
Primate.
Always good to hear from Evil.
Yes.
Hey guys, this is Evil Primate on Twitter. Recent Patreon follower of you guys. Follow both of you on Twitter as well. Just wanted to say, keep up the good work. You guys are doing great on the podcast. Really appreciate listening every week. Also, since I had a bad experience today, GameStop, can I get a fuck GameStop in the chat, please? Thank you.
Yeah, well, he's totally entitled to a fuck GameStop in the chat.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to say something to that, though. I hope everyone does realize that listens to the show, catches it live, they're catching it later. Me and Crap and Jay really try to put together a different type of show, and you're really going to see that transpire, especially with the bits and skits we have coming up. You'll get a little taste of it what we have today. And we want to thank all the people, and we'll get into it a little bit more. I want to thank all the people that do provide content for the show. There's some great artists out there that keep contributing to make this show better, and we hope it allows them to grow in their channel as we promote them, right, Crap? I mean,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
many great people.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great people. It's helping us, like here's the thing with the whole Patreon thing. So I guess some people tried to give us some flack for that or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not like we're pocketing that money. What that's for is so that we can do the new game giveaway every month, so that we can get Jay a switchboard, so that we can pay to keep the show on iTunes, because you guys have said, hey, we would like to go to iTunes and these other places to view the show. Well, that's not exactly cheap to do that, So that's where this money goes to. It goes to keeping the show sounding good and expanding it so you can listen to it at your leisure in other places, and
not just that Crap. I think that the main reason that we get so excited to do this, and we put so many, we put 2 hours in on Sunday. Actually, that's not even true. We're usually at about 3 or 4 hours on Sunday because we get in early, and then we end, even after the show, we end a little late talking about some things for next week. And then during the week, we have a few meetings and recordings. What we get so excited about and want everyone to know is that this is different. I mean, I love podcasting. I think it's great. And don't get me wrong, ultimately, this could be construed as a podcast, but it's really, we're trying to take as many measures, and the changes you'll see that we make to it are to make this more of a show, more of like a morning talk show than just a normal podcast. So with your efforts and your assistance in Patreon, I think you'll see that transpire. So I want to say, thanks to Evil for the call in and saying thanks for continuing to do it. Those calls are very, very much appreciated to hear people do that. So don't think you call in and say thanks for the show, that's not something. That means a lot to us because we are putting in a lot of hours, and we're hoping that you guys see the work transpire soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have been really great and supportive and stuff like that. So very, very much thanks to you guys for that. It's really been it's been great. So,
we do have Xbox Trigger on deck. Why don't we go with another voicemail, and then we'll see if we can get another Skype call in here.
Yeah. Who Xbox Trigger? He's always a good caller. We also have the
J-Dubs, Hate Mooch, Hate Crap. This is Xbox Trigger from Twitter, and I just want to say I love the work you guys doing. I'm glad you guys are back again. I just want to say that again because I still can't believe it. Anyway, here's my question. Now, since the Scorpio has been around for I don't know, a couple weeks now, Ponies went through all the stages of grief, and I just want to know, what do you think about the new, their new, I don't know how to say, the new complaint. They're saying, well, what about when Xbox powered the cloud? And they were lying about this, so they were obviously lying about Scorpio. That's the new reason to hate that Xbox. That's one thing. I just wondering when you guys think about that, because I think it's pretty dumb and they're desperate. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
Well, yeah, I think what he's saying is that the goalposts keep moving, Crap, and they keep changing the narrative every time. It's something that Xbox says, hey, we can do this and we can do it better. Than the Sony fans and the media kind of poke fun at another hole that they can just kind of make. And now he's saying, I think with the power of the cloud thing, though, Trigger, to answer your question, is Microsoft was kind of at fault to show that back in 2013 when we're actually going to see it in 2017. And yeah, we saw bits and pieces of it with Titanfall. But realistically, nothing else has been utterly pointed out and said, this is the cloud. The cloud is doing this. I think the next time we're going to see them really start to talk about that and all that, the calculations that it's actually doing, running in the background, if you will be from Crackdown 3. But yeah, no, I mean, as far as what do I think that they just keep moving the goalposts. I mean, Crap said it 2 years ago that once power was changed back to Microsoft, it would go to games or something else. And we see that that's the first thing they did. And Sony started that campaign. Listen, guys, this isn't just the Sony fans. It's not just the media. Sony does this. Sony's playing everybody like a fiddle. Sony did it at the last E3. Okay, that wasn't just an orchestra, and it wasn't just Sean Layden's too tight T-shirt that he wore out there. That was a disgrace. You know, the real disgrace came from the fact that they were going to show their hardware. They got showed up by the Scorpio, and what they did was they said, you know, they're scramble this year. Isn't it funny that Sony? You know, it's funny. Everyone shits on Microsoft, but why is it Sony that if they're so well organized, why is it Sony has to keep scrambling last minute? You know,
I don't know. You know what?
That's genius. Is it genius or just underprepared or just like I'm going to copy the person that's sitting next to you's homework assignment? Doesn't it seem that way? Like Sony's sitting like Sony right now. If you were to walk up to Sony Studios, they'd be, hey, excuse me, everybody. What is it you would say you have prepared for E3? Well, we're going to kind of wait until Sunday evening is complete and then we'll write a script. Okay, great. So you're just playing off of anything Microsoft. If Microsoft happens, Phil Spencer gets on stage and happens to burp, okay, the wrong way, they're going to attack that. So, I mean, it just seems like for this great, all-powerful company, all they really do is just copy other people's homework assignments.
You know what? Here's the thing. Also, I noticed that Microsoft gets a lot of shit as far as, you know, why are they being so quiet? Why are they being so quiet? When is the last time Sony has made any news or made any noise? Honestly, I mean, yeah, they've released some third-party games that were delayed from last year and previous years, but they're not talking anything really. Honestly, like when was the last time they've made any kind of noise or big announcement? Like it's been a while, but everybody's like, Microsoft's so quiet. Oh, keep fingers crossed, folks. We might actually get a call.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. M&C Mornings.
2017 and Skype is on the fritz.
Yes. How can we help you? Yellow.
I think Jay needs a few seconds even when we hear that. I think it's the same caller too.
¿Cómo estás?
I love Crap Spanish is just fantastic, by the way.
¿Cómo estás, bitches?
Okay, guys, since it's not coming through properly, I'm going to push them through my own microphone, okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, go ahead, Steven.
All right. This is Sir X-Man, and I have a question for you guys. With 4K and 7.1 surround coming out of the Scorpio, you're going to have your full home entertainment system at home. Now, the movie theaters will be getting smaller and smaller because of these video game consoles pumping out pretty much better resolution than in the theater. What do you think the effect is going to be when Scorpio comes out for the movie industry as a whole? That's the only question I had. Oh, good playing with you on Halo a few weeks ago, Crap. And Mooch, thank you for friending me. That's about it, and I love both you guys. You're doing a good job. Talk to you later.
That was awesome. And it's hopefully he calls back in next week when we have a lot of this figured out. That was a great call. You know, to be honest with you, I made out. Did you make out the question, Crap? I did.
About the movie, about the movie industry and things like that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that necessarily Scorpio will play a role on that. Think about it right now, okay? Even sports, okay? I mean, people have to deal with the issue with they're not selling tickets in stadiums anymore as frequently, or they have to incentivize like all the purchases because here's the problem. People can sit at home, and especially a football game. There's cameras, there's HD cameras swinging left and right off the top of those stadiums. You can see Eli Manning, that frustrated look he always has on his face that you guys say is just painted on there. You can see that from your couch. You don't have to drive down to the Meadowlands to enjoy that. So the same thing with the movies. Listen, the thing about the movies is you still see blockbuster numbers coming out of movies because there's still nothing like whether you're dating or you're taking your family out, to go to the movies is still an experience. And just look at it this way. A movie is 2.5 hours, and it's going to run you the better part of, about, if you're doing IMAX, it's going to be $40 or it's going to be around $30, right? This is another, and I hate to go off on a rant here, Crap, but this is why when people, Crap, that's a whole nother show. But no, what I was going to say to you was when people sit here and complain about the Scorpio price,
the dollar menu after,
and they keep telling you that $30, $40 for 2 hours is not a problem, because people go to the movies all the time. Some people go to the movies twice in one weekend, and that's $80 out of your pocket with your better half. And then, Crap saying, Crap, you all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Loving that dollar menu bit. But, realistically, this is the whole thing. When it comes down to it, I don't think, to answer the caller's question, I don't think that it's going to affect the movie industry. I think it's going to enhance the movie industry, because here's the thing. Movies are now, if you remember back to the 80s and 90s, movies used to go into the theaters and they'd be in there for like 2-3 months. Do you notice movies are now like 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later you see like, X-Men whatever coming to DVD, or coming to Blu-ray 4K. And it's like, wow, that was a quick turnaround. It's not necessarily that it did bad in the theater. They just know that there's a whole new money market out there of people that want to watch it on their 4K or their 1080p TV. And so I think these consoles are only helping the movie industry. I don't think it's hurting the movie industry at all. It's letting people enjoy that movie effect. Like, I went and saw Doctor Strange in the theater, IMAX 3D. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I went and I bought it on Xbox Video when it was released, because it came to digital first on I think you could buy it digitally before you could buy it on Blu-ray. And, don't get me wrong, it was great watching it at home, surround sound, the whole nine. But there was, I can't say it beat the movie experience.
Yeah.
So I still think that even with these great, devices that are coming out and giving us this 4K, visual fidelity on your screen in your home, it's still nothing like going to the movie theater and overpaying and, the whole, everything that just is so great about the movies. You know what I mean? Like popcorn that's been sitting there for 3 hours, they drench in butter. A soda that's the size of your left leg that you got to try and finish in 2 hours. There's a lot of things about the movie theater that you just can't get at home. But yeah, no, I think that was a good question.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see like a huge difference. What we're seeing already is like the 4K Blu-ray thing take off, because not everybody can stream 4K,
right,
and it's still compressed when you do that. Like, if you ever look at something that's on a 4K Blu-ray, it looks much, much better.
Right.
Much better.
Well, I think Sony was quite ignorant and really pompous to say that they didn't want to put a 4K drive, ultra high definition drive in there because of the fact that they were going to stream. Like, these are the same people that said, this is how you share a game.
Yeah.
Right. So you're telling everybody 3 years ago that you're not into the whole DRM thing. And now you're telling people that you want them to stream movies, games, everything else in 4K. Like, who are you people, and where have you been? Like, 3 years is not enough time to say that we've all made, like, there's still people like who can't, like, Crap. Crap is as highly technical. He knows what's going on. He understands what the situation is as far as like streaming this and that. He can't stream on Beam because he just doesn't have the internet capability. Yeah. And he's in Florida. Okay. Yeah. He's not in Bumpkin. He's in Florida.
To be fair, I have a decent download. My upload isn't good, but actually I'm in the middle. I'm going to have to, buy some stuff. I'm gonna try it one day, just to see what it can do, because I hear it's pretty low latency on Beam. So we'll see how that goes. But absolutely, you know what? Make sure you guys hit that like button. I figure when we get to around 200, we'll run the top 10. But we do have a new sponsor.
We have a new sponsor, right?
We do. We have a brand new sponsor. We're very proud of the sponsor. They gave us a nice little theme song to play, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. Jay, do we have the new sponsor queued up?
It's all ready to go.
All right, guys, enjoy this. This is great. Crap, this really took me by surprise. I'm really glad to have these guys with us. This is such a big gaming organization.
Absolutely. So presentation mode activated, I guess, right?
Jay, do you need a presentation mode?
Let's do it. It'll be even better.
All right, here we go, everybody. Enjoy our new sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Making your way on the interweb today takes everything you got. Taking your head and all your worries about Microsoft's Xbox. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you gotta go where everybody hates the same, and they're always mad at change. You wanna be where you can see the ponies are all the same. You wanna be where everybody hates Bill Gates. You wanna be where ponies know the media is all the same. You wanna go where everyone loves Sony.
Thank you so much for sponsoring the show.
What a great sponsor, right? I mean,
Man, I'm telling you, that was fantastic.
You know what? I think that's so good. We have to play it again before we leave.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that before the outro. We'd like to give that sponsor a little bit of credit again at the end.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, I listened to that about 30 times last night, and I was just cracking up. I could not.
Princess the 4K Gamer says, "Okay, where can I download that now?"
Oh, that should be something that we should download. Hey, you know what, Jay? See if we can get permission to put that up on our iTunes so people can download that, because that is great.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah, thank you, J Dubs.
It's so good. This is what I'm saying. There's so many great people in the community that keep giving to the show, and it was outstanding. That really made our morning. Oh, man.
Noof is like, we had to play that every show. Like,
I could see that being, that could definitely be a weekly. We may even get some more new ones. Crap, we might get new sponsors. Who's the hell?
I mean, you never know. I mean, we're always getting.
We get so much stuff, guys. You got to understand. Some of the stuff we play, some of it may just go on the Patreon edit room floor that you guys get later on. Just amazing stuff. The community is talented as hell. I want to say shout out to the over 300 people that finally made it out to MC Mornings. Thank you, everybody. Crap did promise a top 10 at 200, but
200 likes. Let's get going, folks. 200 likes. Let's
shout out. We got a lot of great people in the chat. Nephew's made it. Nephew just woke up. Crap. So
do you ever notice that? Yeah, the closer we get to noon, the more people we get piling in. They're like, oh yeah. Like, I mean, we might as well. We could be like MNC afternoons and
MNC brunch coming next week. Okay, yeah,
absolutely. That
so we could do a brunch edition. It goes from 1 to 3. That was you guys got to understand. Crap couldn't stop laughing when we saw that Neo Gab band. We were laughing for so long. Jay's like, "We're gonna be late."
Yeah. We do have a voicemail though. I'm gonna mute my mic. Jay, can we? Yeah, can we?
Oh yeah, this is like a 20-minute voicemail. No, wait. Here it comes.
What up with your crap and moves? This your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm up. And I would like to ask y'all opinion about something. You know, crap, I know you got your no rules reviews, and that's cool. But I'm talking about like for the mainstream media, how they be rating games, how they give a little bitty game like a 9 out of 10, and a big AAA blockbuster game like Halo an 8 out of 10. And a casual coming to a store to purchase a game, and they see Halo like an 8 out of 10, and they see this other game like a 9 out of 10. They say, oh, this game here a 9 out of 10. It must be fire. They get this game taken and go home, and they, man, this shit ain't shit. Well, look, excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying. And then like the mainstream media, they be saying, oh, that's an indie developer and it's a small man team of like 10, and really and truly I don't really give a flying monkey shit about that, you know what I'm saying, about no pity party for purchase for them developers. When it comes to purchasing my games, I'll be want to know what it is. But see, like, I got a proposal for that. What they should do is like have a single A game and then say 1 out of 10, or 1 through 10 a double A game, or 1 through 10 a triple A game, or 1 through 10, and then let the developers decide which game they want it to be, like a triple A, double A, or single A. And like, to give an example, like for No Man's Sky, they could say, okay, No Man's Sky would be a AAA game and they get like a 3 out of 10. But if they would have said, oh, No Man's Sky was a AA, it'd get like a 6 or a 7. You know what I'm saying? Well, this your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm out. Hold on. No, I ain't out yet. Hold up, I got 2 thank yous I want to give. I want to give a thank you to you, Crab Mooch, and Jay Williams from the Wheel of Ones. You know what I'm saying? I won on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop. I want the other thank yous. You know what I'm saying? I would like to thank y'all for, you know what I'm saying, for being fans of the fans, because if y'all weren't fans of the fans, we wouldn't have the show. You know what I'm saying? Well, this your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I'm out.
Yo, that actually, I gotta be honest with you, that was awesome.
That was
that was like, awesome.
Yeah, like first of all, thanks for realizing that no rules reviews mean I have no rules. Good head on your shoulders with that. Do you want to handle the rest of that?
Well, I mean, I just
you know what, like,
handle the rest of it. That was it was intense. I mean, he's really attacking the whole like media and how they judge games versus how you do it. Crap.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. They're paid to do it. I'm not. They're supposed to, you know. Yeah, and even so, you know, like I gave MLB The Show a 9 out of 10. I thought that's a fantastic game. I gave Until Dawn a good score, Ratchet and Clank a good score. Like I can do that. Where you have some of these mainstream sites, like I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. I got in kind of a back and forth with some GameSpot people, and they basically like admitted that they don't have to be, you know,
objective or
objective. Yeah, I mean, they basically said that.
There's
you know?
no.
So,
We should stop calling them the gaming media. I mean, they're just. It's just a blog, right? I mean, it's just an opinion piece at this point. I mean, you guys tune into us, right? And you get our opinion. Nobody's ever said, Mooch, we need you in Studio 3 for your broadcast on gaming media. Like, nobody ever calls us in like that. People are like, oh, this is their opinion. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. And that's fine. If that's how it is, then that's where it is. But, well, journalism's dead, right? Yeah. I think we're seeing that everything from political news to gaming news crap. I mean, journalism's dead. It's just opinion pieces now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And again, they're getting pissed off. And to his credit, Colin Moriarty said something similar, and I remember I sent it to you.
Yes.
Where he said, the more that the games media becomes irrelevant, the more they're going to push back against like the YouTubers and the streamers that make them so irrelevant. So basically, that's what's happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't really take their stuff seriously. I think that, we've all seen it, that there's a bit of a bias. Like I'll play a game. Yeah, I'll play a game that the media will hype up and say is so great, and then I play it and it's complete trash. Like I know the average everyday gamer is not going to like that game, So that's why I started doing reviews, and also to help out people in my gaming clan as well, because they were like, "Hey, which games are good, which games are bad," and I had pretty good taste in games. So that's how that kind of came to be. And as far as that, like people will be like, "Oh, well, this game's great," and then I'll play it, and I'm like, "No, the average gamer is not going to like this game," or
Right.
just as examples, you know what I mean? It's just like they're not going to, and and that's unfortunate. Like there's bias, and there's obviously like a lot of these sites are blacklisted and things like that. So I don't take that stuff seriously. I don't think anybody should take mainstream media reviews seriously, because obviously. Just look at some of them, like too much A button or too much water or this or that. It's just absolutely, it's gotten to the point. Yeah. It's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. And I mean, Triple Cup Chuck is in the chat. What's up, Triple Cup? Nice, good, great voicemail, by the way, man. Awesome. Yeah. I like how he spits that out perfectly. He says it right. Man doesn't trip up at all. He knows what he's talking about. To be honest with you though, crap, that kind of leads me to going into reviews. I'm kind of just parlaying it into games here again. We should talk about Call of Duty World War II, right? I think that the hype level behind this game is growing exponentially, and I'm on the hype train. I've been just watching a lot of videos, a lot of people's this and that. I watched your video on it, and one of the things that I labeled here is where's Microsoft's marketing? A lot of people think that this is going to be an Xbox not exclusive, but marketed rights. And I after talking to crap and going over everything and kind of piecing it together, it's leaning 60-40, probably not. Yeah. But I mean,
well, the Amazon thing links it as them having the 30 days access. But to be fair, last year Microsoft, at least from what I could tell, didn't hype up the reveal. They talked a little bit about Call of Duty at various points, but they didn't hype up the reveal in the Xbox Wire, and they also hyped up. I don't know if you watched This Week on Xbox with Major Nelson, but even though they don't have the Battlefront rights, at the end, he goes, the whole show was about Battlefront 2, and then at the end, he goes, the best place to play it is going to be on Scorpio and EA Access.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they're kind of doing what, kind of some Sony tactics, right? Where Sony does the whole, like, they'll get exclusive, like, 30-day stuff, but then on their cardboard cutouts in GameStop, they have exclusive, and then they put the content underneath it. And that fools the casual gamer. They think that the game is exclusive when it's just like, maybe like a pair of shoes or a purple lightsaber or an orange lightsaber. You know what I mean? Like that's not the game at all. And you would not lose anything in the experience of gaming by what Sony has exclusive for the most part. And I think Microsoft's dabbling with that, right? Like kind of when they did the Destiny Cologne.
Yeah. And then they had to pull it.
They had to pull it, but the damage was done. I say that all the time. Whenever you see any of these courtroom movies, you ever see sometimes the defense gets up and they're like, and we noticed that this didn't happen. And then the judge is like, I want that stricken from the evidence. And the jurors didn't hear that. They did hear it. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't strike something from what you just heard, So my point being is when Microsoft makes these attacks, even if they have to pull it, the damage is done, and it works very much in their favor. If they keep saying from now until release crap that the game plays better, is better, looks better on Scorpio, maybe that will resonate with the casual consumer. Time will tell.
Yeah, I would think that it would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. Microsoft in the past, they weren't. Do you remember, like, when they first lost marketing rights, they didn't talk up Call of Duty at all. Like,
Right.
Major Nelson wasn't talking about it. Nobody was talking about it. Hey, shout out Livewires.
Livewire.
Who's in the chat? Yeah. So you notice it, and I got a little bit of flack. They're like, crap. We know that they're not getting marketing rights. I'm like, because they go off the titles of my video so often without actually listening to it. And the whole point was, regardless of whether they have the marketing rights or not, the fact that they're talking about these, Battlefront, Call of Duty, letting people know that these are coming and going to play best on Scorpio is, in my opinion, just as important. You know, you can't just, like, they probably aren't allowed to talk about Destiny, but the fact that they're talking about Call of Duty again and Battlefront 2, I think that's great.
I do too.
You need to do that. And guess what? The streamers and the YouTubers that are going to be showcasing the games on Scorpio, because we get to play it first.
Yeah.
So all that footage is going to be out there.
No, I agree. And I think that Microsoft is playing this very smart. I think they probably got lawyers involved to know what they can and can't do.
Yeah. Well, they got a whole truckload of lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, I think sometimes when you mess with the bull, you get the horns crap. Yeah. And we're going to find out. We're just going to find out how much Microsoft wants to do kumbaya and kind of, sit around a campfire and sing songs this fall, or if they're going to go at them and actually, like, put some kind of strike out there where they do these little side campaigns, which work very well on social media and streaming. That's just a lot of gamers are not watching NBC, ABC, CBS. They're watching YouTube. Okay. They're watching Twitch. They're watching Beam. And they're going to get a chance to advertise on all those spots and say where the best place to play is. And come whatever date it be, October or November, once Scorpio comes out, Sony's got to remove the most powerful console. And guess what? Bang, just like that, the most powerful console sticker gets to go on the Scorpio for a couple of years. And
did you find it funny that they were even pushing that, like, at this point? Because in the other hand, they were saying, power doesn't matter anymore. But then at the same time, they're like, well, here's our powerful console. You know what I mean?
Well, Sony's been doing that since day one, right? Think about it right now. I mean, it's just, it's the point of the matter is that you've got Sony also made fun of the idea of physical discs and DRM, and now they're a proponent of 4K streaming. You know what I mean? 4K streaming.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Right. So.
I just can't wait for that, though. That when they're gonna have to take that down. It's like they got caught in their own bullshit is what's happening, and I don't think that people are letting them off the hook as easily as Sony would think when they try to change the narrative. Like, you do see people try to change the narrative and stuff like that, and now it's like when they realize that it's not working out as well as they thought, now it's like, oh well, Scorpio will be $700, or it won't be able to do this, or it won't be able to do that. It's like, look. To do with resolution, because resolution and graphics are two different things. The fact that their memory and memory bandwidth is so high, those textures and stuff, the fidelity that you're getting is much better. So it's going to be it's going to really blow people's minds. That's why they were so confident. That's why Phil said, don't pre-order, wait till you see the games. You know what I mean? That makes perfect sense now. We saw the Forza screenshot. We've seen the Forza screenshot next to the Forza screenshot of the same game on the Xbox One, which I thought already looked great.
Yeah, it did.
Now we see it with, like, the textures and stuff. It's like, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
We should probably do another voicemail.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I thought,
so much.
Yeah, you know what? I thought you were, like, about to say that. Like, hey, we got another voicemail.
We have Travis on deck, so.
Hey Mooch and Crap, it's Travis, or the Outcast Kid from Twitter. I have a little bit of a rant, and I'm sorry in advance for this being kind of long, but I have to get something off my chest. Basically, I went to GameStop the other day and with my friends, and yes, they are PlayStation fans, but we are equally gamers. And we had heard that Crash Bandicoot was going to be a playable demo at our local GameStop. And so he wanted to go and play it. And I said, okay. So we went to GameStop. And of course, while he was playing, you walk in the door. To the right, there's the PlayStation demo console and everything. It was the PS4 Pro. You look to the left, there's your Switch. They were both right at the front of the store. So I started looking around, obviously. I'm an Xbox gamer, so I'm going to go look at the Xbox accessories. And I started looking around, and I came up to the Xbox demo booth. at the back of the store. That's my first problem. It's at the very back of the store, and the other two consoles are at the front of the store. Well, I went to the back of the store and I started looking at it. There was a video playing on the screen, so the Xbox One wasn't even playable, first of all. I looked at the video and I started seeing advertisements for Sunset Overdrive, Rise, and a bunch of other things. And I was curious, so I waited till the end of the video and I watched it, and basically at the very end it said Xbox One coming this November. Kind of confused me, so I turned around and asked the GameStop guy. I asked him, why the old video? I said, why is this so old? And first of all, you have an original Xbox One back here. He was like, oh, the controllers are broken and nobody's come to update the video. I was like, are you serious? My second rant, I started talking to him about Project Scorpio and asking him questions. And he basically told me, I asked him what was his opinion on Scorpio and what he thinks the price was going to be. He told me specifically he thinks the Xbox Scorpio is trash and that he thinks the console is going to be worth $800 to $900 and that he is not going to buy it or recommends anyone else to buy it. I wanted to know your guys' opinion on this. This is a GameStop worker influencing other people's opinions on Xbox. He told me he was a PlayStation guy, but it just annoyed the fuck out of me. I want to know your guys' opinions. Thank you.
Brilliant. I mean, well, listen, GameStop is angry maybe because, look what they're doing, right? They're closing down a bunch of stores. Microsoft has the Game Pass and stuff like that. It really makes GameStop irrelevant at this point. Just with Scorpio coming and we now know that 74% is digital. That's obviously hurting them. Microsoft is pushing digital, so they're not happy about it. And so, unfortunately, that's the way it is, man.
Well, the part that's ignorant on the GameStop executives' part is you want to sit here and hate. Everything you just said was accurate, crap. Everything. Yeah. Sony's doing the same thing. It's like I said, Sony just copies the homework assignment on the way to class. So Microsoft does all these things that are pro-consumer but happen to be more in favor of digital sales, right? We even talked about it on
Which
Xbox
is pro-developer.
It's pro-developer. It's pro-gaming. But it is, in effect, going to hurt. There's a lot of brick and mortar stores that have gotten hurt over the past decade. And the decade to follow is going to be even worse for brick and mortar stores. We're buying everything. People are buying toilet paper, toothbrush, sandpaper, MyPillow, everything. They're buying everything off the internet. It's just showing up on your doorstep 2 days later. Listen, Amazon Prime, Amazon got people to pay $100 subscription fee a year or whatever it is to be part of Prime. So you get everything in 2 days. So now you order something and it ends up on your doorstep. And that's where things are going. We're talking about drones bringing these things sooner. And my point being is just that what Microsoft's doing is what the future brings. And GameStop going ahead and pointing the finger and being like, Microsoft's to blame for this. Well, then if they're to blame for it, then Sony shouldn't have a digital store. Right? Sony shouldn't have anything digital at all. It should just be physical disc. And let's see how long Sony lasts with just a physical copy. They're doing the same thing.
Also, to say, $700 or $800, that's nonsense. Phil Spencer is on record saying it's a console price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not going to be, and that they're very aware of $599 US, which was the PS3 price. So it can't be that price.
Yeah.
At the most, you're looking at $499 in my opinion. You know
let me answer DJ Singh in the chat. He says, I think digital games should be $50. And DJ, for the longest time, I said the same thing. Okay. I'm like, why aren't they cheaper? The thing is, right now, Microsoft and Sony still do have a relationship with these brick and mortars, namely, Walmart. And if a new game comes out, let's just pick on Crackdown 3, comes out and it's $50 on the Microsoft store digitally, but then it's Walmart has to have it for $60 on the shelf. That's just the way that they make money. Well, that's fine, but the problem is then Walmart looks really bad. And Walmart will say, listen, I understand you're going to make money on digital. The thing that they still need them for is we can't you could, I guess, only buy an Xbox Scorpio at a Microsoft store. That's going to hurt their sales. There's only 20 Xbox or Microsoft stores in the country where there's a Walmart behind a Walmart.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's hard. You can't really offend the brick and mortars completely because you need them to get your hardware out and promote them. So that's where you kind of see where that won't happen. But what you are seeing, crap, right, is new games will come out on Tuesday, and then 3 Tuesdays later, you can get it for $49.99 in a brisk sale that they have online digitally. You know what I mean? So what Microsoft and Sony are doing is they're giving the brick and mortar an opportunity to have 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks with the physical disc, and then they hit hard with a sale price usually 6 to 8 weeks later. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, it doesn't happen with every copy, but it happens with a lot of games that maybe don't sell so well physical off the bat.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They've got to sell their consoles.
Right.
You can't have them not sell your consoles, because that's what happened to and I've said this before, the Sega Saturn was they spurned a bunch of retailers by not giving them access, because they just surprised everybody like, hey, you can pick up a Sega Saturn today. The day of E3, they did that, and they left a bunch of retailers out, and then those retailers banned Sega. They're like, we're not stocking your stuff anymore, and then look what happened to Sega.
Exactly. So they have to walk a fine line. They kind of walk on eggshells with the whole thing. But I think it's working, and Walmart doesn't seem to be complaining much. But GameStop, look at, has anyone been into GameStop lately? They're selling like Gremlin toys. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, don't feed it after midnight. See you later, customers. Okay, thanks. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, half the store is shirts and like, it's just whatever. They've got to find an avenue, right? Like, whenever you walk into any store, like if you walk into a pizza place and then 3 days later they're selling like, like gyros or euros or whatever they're called, like, that the place is maybe not doing so well on the pizza, right? Because they've had to switch and add things to the menu. It's the way it is. So they're adding everything they possibly can to the menu to try and get every last dollar. When I was there and I grabbed that controller, I didn't finish the story from previous. They were like, dude, you really should put $5 down on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're like, it's going to go. And I kind of I drank the Kool-Aid. I put $5 down on it because two things. First of all, I'm not going to buy it digitally. I'm just not Nintendo and digital, you know what I mean? It's like putting water in your cereal. It just doesn't taste good. It's just, it works, but it doesn't taste good.
Hey, we are 3 likes away from hitting our top 10. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
3 likes, folks.
But they got me to put the $5 down, crap. And, I said, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole point of the matter is that they're just, before you leave, when you're paying at GameStop, there's a GameStop employee tying your shoelaces together underneath the counter. They're trying to make it so you don't leave. You trip, you fall. Oh, you got to stay a little longer. So they're doing whatever they can to keep you in the store.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also they're trying to give you as much as possible. Like I was there the other day looking for something. I was looking for like a Switch or something. And holy crap, we jumped over 200 pretty fast. But yeah, they try to sell you everything. They're like, do you want a subscription to our magazine? Do you want this? Do you Power Up Rewards? This. Hey, buy our T-shirts. They're like $3.50 now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, to me, like when you watch those, when you go into a GameStop now, it's like it's almost like a flea market. They're like, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff we got. We got this stuff. This tonic. It makes you feel great. Drink it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
great BioShock reference. Though.
Yes, so to me that's what it looks like. But anyway, J-Dubs, do you have the top 10?
It's all ready.
All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay, put me in presentation.
You are there. Welcome back, everybody, to MNC Morning's Top 10, where this week's subject is useless peripherals. Yes, that's right, useless peripherals. Say that 5 times fast. Number 10, Virtual Boy. This product kept my eyes turned the shade of red so long, I thought I was permanently stuck in the movie Total Recall. When you think of gaming, you think of black and red. No, you don't. You think of colors. You think of things that are just plentiful in Michael Bay explosions and multicolor fascinated world that 3D can give you. And that's what Nintendo promised. They promised us 3D. Instead, we got Total Recall Mars Red. Sorry, one of the biggest follies in Nintendo's never-ending attempt to make a peripheral that would work. Number 10, Virtual Boy, dead.
Headaches included. Number 9, the Game Boy Advance e-reader. Now, what do you think of when you think of Game Boy Advance? You put a cartridge in and you play it and it's all good. So what did Nintendo come up with to mess this up? Idea to plug this thing in and then you swipe cards like a credit card machine and then you can play these little weird games on there. It was totally counterproductive and it completely failed. And it was just another one of those gimmicks that Nintendo, unfortunately, really tough time selling here in America. And now, well, if you have them, they're worth quite a bit of money and they're quite rare. But at the end of the day, just another useless peripheral by Nintendo.
Sticking with that, number 8, the NES Power Glove. which most people who owned it suffered from a rotator cuff surgery not there far after. Not to mention, the games really didn't respond well. All I can say is, damn you, Fred Savage, for making it look cool in The Wizard.
The Wizard was actually a pretty interesting movie.
It wasn't bad, actually. I actually loved that movie. I watched that so many times as a kid, and they made the glove look good. The glove was terrible. I actually had to sit Indian style on the floor with 5 pillows on my right leg to hold my arm up to play any type of game so it would hit whatever the Nintendo could read off of the glove. It was terrible.
It was pretty awful. Number 7, the PlayStation iToy. And I'm not talking about the one on the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 4. I'm talking about the PlayStation 2. This thing was absolutely horrible. You would just plug it in, and then you would like move your hands, and it was just really cheesy. And the games on it really sucked. And it was basically the start of this whole iToy phenomena bullshit that just is awful.
Yeah.
And I just, as K Mega would say, send that shit to Hades. Just terrible idea. That whole sprung into the Kinect and everything that we got today. Worthless.
Nice, Crap. Totally agree with you. Number 6, the SNES Super Scope. Yes, even I as a child was very excited to get this in my hands. But what I found out was what Nintendo launched with the system was also the only game it launched with the system. It was called Battle Clash, which wasn't bad. It had characters moving left to right, right to left, and you would just shoot missiles upon missiles upon missiles. And don't get me wrong, when peripherals was still something very new in the gaming world, this was a novel idea. But unfortunately, it just didn't take. And that was the last game, and that was the last time anyone bought it. It was dead upon arrival.
Absolutely. Number 5. We all remember Seaman, right? We're talking about the Dreamcast game, of course. And to play this, you had to use this mic. It was totally useless. You plugged it into your Dreamcast controller and you talked to it, and it couldn't really even understand you or work that well, but it was kind of like a virtual pet narrated by Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek fame. And this thing ended up I think it only worked on that one game, and it was horrible. It didn't even really work. Number 5, Seaman mic. Awful.
Sounds like it didn't live long or prosperous. Number 4, Rob the Robot. Enough said. This probably had no chance, and it really didn't. It was moving a saucer weight from one platform to the other to open a door left or right. This is another one of Nintendo's novel ideas that they could attach to the outside of the NES. But for some reason, it just didn't take. And all of you in the audience right now are saying, oh, geez, I really liked Rob. We all really liked Rob. But Rob just wasn't there in the end. And Nintendo didn't give us enough games to actually use this peripheral the way that they had intended. So sorry, folks. Number 4, Rob the Robot. Sorry to say, you're dead.
Absolutely. Number 3, the Steel Battalion controller on the original Xbox. For those of you who remember this thing, it is basically a legit, setup for like a tank or something. This thing is absolutely above and beyond anything anybody would ever need. I would think that controlling like a real mech or a real tank easier than this thing. This thing was bulky. I think it cost hundreds of dollars, and it is quite a collector's item, but realistically, who's going to spend hundreds of dollars to use on one game? And absolutely, I guess if you were a millionaire or some kind of super collector or anything, I've seen one of these one time in real life, and it's an absolute abomination. I wouldn't even want one for my collection, but there we have it. Number 3, the Steel Battalion controller on the original Xbox. You're garbage. Get out of here.
Well said, Crap. Nobody wants a controller the size of a coffee table. Number
Exactly.
2, the PSVR. And let me just say this. I'm not going to rant and rave about it. Everyone knows how I feel about PSVR. But from now on, I would like everybody in the gaming industry, the movie industry, and social media to refer to Jump the Shark will now be known as I bought a PSVR. Because when you say that, you've let everybody know that you've already hyperextended your gaming belief. It's over. It died upon impact. I said it when it was in the conventions a year ago. No one listened. Believe me. And don't get me wrong, Microsoft's got a VR unit coming out this upcoming year. If it's not Microsoft, it'll be a third-party brand. Nonetheless, VR is something that takes you out of real life. It just takes you out of real life. And unfortunately, you can't come home from real life after missing 10 hours with your family, put this thing on, and pretend you're home with your family. PSVR, number 2, rest in peace.
Absolutely. And we've come to number 1, number one, keep it in tune with PlayStation VR is PlayStation Move. When I think of gaming, I think of 2 glowing dildos. That's always a good time, folks. Not really. So number one, definitely PlayStation Move. Absolute terrible idea. When you rip off Nintendo's idea, at least come up with something that's slightly better looking than that, because that thing is the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life. Absolutely a waste of money, and I'm sad to say I bought one. Anyway, that's our top 10 list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks Nuke Nukem for the idea. He actually gave us this idea. If you have an idea that you'd like us to do, please go ahead and send it to us. We'd love to do it. Thank you guys for rocking out with us.
Awesome top 10. Absolutely fantastic top 10. Jay, great editing, by the way, because we gave Jay an absolute mess.
Yes, it was a mess, and that actually sounded really good. So I am like super surprised. I'm like, damn, because I didn't have a chance to listen to it before the show.
Me neither.
It was absolutely really good job, and yeah, that was funny. And also, I gotta say, the presentation mode made it much better.
Yes,
the laugh track and the rim shots and the warp, that was perfect.
No, it's great.
Yeah, that like you did a fucking fantastic job, Jay. You don't get enough credit for the great job you do, man. That was really good. Thank you.
It's just great too. You know what's funny is Jay does such a good job that like it's going to be amazing when he actually has all the instruments and tools that he'll need to make this thing even. I mean, to see what he can do when he actually has the right tools that we're going to get him, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should play our sponsor song again in presentation mode.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, I think it's always good to play. Our sponsors.
We've got
give
so
them
many
credit.
people watching now, like 350 people who were here earlier. So if you guys didn't know or you missed our new sponsor, here it is. I mean, you're going to be able to boot that up, J-Dubs?
It's all ready.
All right, you're in presentation mode. Let's let everyone see their new sponsor.
Making your way on the interweb today takes everything you got. Taking your hate and all your worries about Microsoft's Xbox. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you gotta go where everybody hates the same, and they're always mad at change. You wanna be where you can see the ponies are all the same. You wanna be where everybody hates Bill Gates. You wanna be where ponies know the media is all the same. You wanna go where everyone loves Sony.
Just so great to have them on.
They're totally on board. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah, that nice little graphic there. That really seals the deal.
So it's crap. You have no idea, guys. The show almost went late because Crap couldn't stop laughing at that.
No, I love it, man. Like that's got to be a staple. We've got to see if we can upload that to the iTunes deal, because that is absolutely like phenomenal. I kid you not, 30 times I listened to that last night, and I was just like, that is the best thing ever.
Yeah, that's great.
To get some more sponsors in the future. Wink, wink.
Yes, yes, please. If you have anything like that, please do send it to J-Dubs.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be awesome. So, J-Dubs, do we have any voicemails that we can get in?
Yeah, we have Tony Berg on deck.
All right, Tony B.
Tony, hit us up.
Hey, Crap. Hey, Mooch. Hey, J-Dubs. This is Tony Berg. Hope you guys are doing well. So, I guess don't really have much of a question, but more of like a rant, to be honest with you. What the hell is wrong with gamers this generation? I mean, seriously. I've been gaming a long time. Man, I used to have so much fun. I even started playing on an Atari 800 XL. The thing freaking takes cassettes to load games. It would take me 60 minutes to load a game, and I would come back, and it'd be ready, and it would be in 2-bit graphics, and the thing would be amazing. I had so much fun. And then I never got a PS2 because I thought I'm going to just wait for the Xbox, and then that's when, everything changed. I mean, playing my Xbox was just so much fun. Project Gotham Racing, Halo, I just raised the bar. And now people these days are just complaining about the most stupid things with graphics, and personally, these games look amazing compared to where we've come from and the games we used to play. So I sit down and I'm playing games with my two boys, and I'm telling them to appreciate the game. They don't even know what the word graphics mean, because they're just sitting there having tons of fun playing these games. But you get this one section of people, they're like, oh my gosh, the foliage in the grass in that game looks absolutely terrible. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Anyway, that's just me ranting on, and I just, it's almost to the point where I just roll my eyes with almost everything I hear this generation of gamers saying, and it's just very, very frustrating. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. Love what you're doing, and we'll speak soon. Take it easy. Bye.
Good video. Yeah, you know what? Like, this generation, I think, has been the worst as far as the graphical nonsense. Where people are just like, well, graphics and resolution, and or that they bring up resolution a lot, and they don't realize that graphics and resolution are different things. Like if you look at a game that could be in 1080p, like let's take for example NAC 1080p on PS4, but the graphics are nowhere near as good as say something like Rise at 900p on the Xbox One. So completely different things. Obviously, art styles and stuff like that come into play, but to try and correlate resolution with graphics is absolutely ignorant and pretty stupid. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
really.
I mean, Tony says something that we got to kind of get a little bit deeper into a crap here. Is Tony's definitely in our age group. Maybe he even sounds a little bit older than us. And what he's talking about is, I mean, I grew up playing, like, the first console I ever had was a Coleco, right?
Yeah.
And, like, we didn't talk about, like, when we used the word graphics, it wasn't like what people are talking about now. Like, people now are talking about something where they want to see these explosions, or you want to see the pimple on your character's face. And that's not what we talked about back in the day. When we said graphics, it was just more like more things on screen, for God's sakes. Everything we played was a 2D scroller. I mean, we played Contra, we played the Ghost and Goblins, we played these games that were so, like, if you looked at them now, people look at them. That's why when people are, like, so big on indies, I'm almost it's not that I'm turned off by indies. I'm like, how could you say that? Like, because people say they play indies, and they do, right? They buy them, they play them for a little while, and then they go right back to a AAA because it's natural progression. And It really is nonsense that we all sit here and argue about resolution and things like that. It's really stupid. The games all look great. And, it's not just us saying that. Microsoft thought this back in 2013. Like, if you went into a Microsoft, like, office and you talked to everybody in 2012, 2011, when they were the concept for Xbox One was being built and thought about, somebody was probably like, well, we probably won't be able to reach 1080p on everything. And somebody was like, who cares? It looks amazing at 900p, right?
It wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing. Sony made a thing because Sony's tanking and they weren't doing well. I mean, people go, that's crap, Mooch. That's not true. That's not true at all. Sony's doing great. They're doing great because they closed 65 offices. Now they just make games.
And they sold off their computers and this, that. I mean, they literally...
everything. So it's like, yes, and that's fine. This isn't a let's bash Sony. What I'm saying is Sony did what they had to do to survive. Okay? Like, if you had your favorite, like, family memorabilia on your backpack, right? And then all of a sudden someone's like, this plane's going down. You got to get rid of the weight. And you're like, no, I need these pictures. These mean everything to me. They're like, it's the bag or we die. Off goes the bag. You know what I mean? So Sony had to cut what they had to cut because they had to make things work. And they did a good job doing that. But the whole point was they just stretched the narrative to be just power. And then the minute that Microsoft does it, they go back to games. And this is like, that's like when somebody doesn't know how to do the quarter trick and they put their hands behind their back and they're like, which hand is it? And then you guess the quarter and they're like, try again. There's only two hands. Yeah. They keep going back and forth between power and games. And it's like, well, you can only do that game so many times before you're like, well, now we're on power. And you're like, no, try the other hand. That's where the quarter is. And it's like, no, we're tired of this. That trick gets so old.
It is. Look, we sat there and we took the loan for years. Like, I have no problem saying, hey, PS4, more powerful console. Now, the original PS4, I always doubted that 50% more powerful nonsense because that was clearly just absolute fabrication that was taken out of context from a developer who misspoke. But even so, like, I've never been disappointed with games so far, for the most part, on my Xbox One that I actually have played and owned. You know what I mean? I think they all play pretty well. If you remember last gen, like, the PS3 really got subpar games, like, some to the point where some of them wouldn't even work like Skyrim, you know what I mean, Bayonetta, the Orange Box. These games literally were so bad that you couldn't play them on the PS3, and Xbox One hasn't had that. I mean, it's gotten some games with slightly less resolution or whatever, but they're not bad ports by any means. You know, they've done. You know, it's been a good console, and I think that people that are going to stick with the S or whatever, that's fine. For me, it's going to be about Scorpio. I'm going to play. You know, I've upgraded the 4K and stuff. I'm ready to do the 4K stuff. You know, that's just that's the bottom line, and the better graphical fidelity.
It's natural progression. There's nothing wrong with that. Like if people say no, Mooch, I really give a crap about the 4K. I really care about this. That's fine. Like you have the right to feel that way, and that's why I think a lot of the older gamers kind of feel like that, you know. But I mean, there's really just there's no reason for all this nonsense. There was never any need for this back in 2013 or 2014. We said that all along, you know. And it's like now, but the part where we call people out now is like the media said it was such a big deal between 1080 and 900, and now we're going into native 4K and checkerboard 4K, and the media is like, this is just, you know, now you're just pulling hairs.
The street and you wink one eye, you know what I mean? Like, you can't tell a difference,
right?
You know, come on, you know what I mean? You guys pimped up the differences between 900p and 1080p, and now they're trying to act like that stuff wasn't you know, important, and it clearly was. You know, the narrative's changing. People are they feel bad now because it's coming back to bite them in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the way it always goes. Even Xbox fans, I'm like, beware the bragging. I mean, for me, I have no problem doing it, like because you get the joke, right, Mooch? Like if like me and you, we don't care about the sales of Xbox, but if it wins, we're gonna be like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's the rib.
Well,
right?
Yeah, it's like, not just it's the rib, but on top of that, I always put it back to sports. Like I sit there all week on Twitter, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on with the Mets? They suck. This guy blew a lead. This is terrible. Why would you call him in?" Then all of a sudden, the Mets win that game. That I was just, you know, and I'm like, "Let's go Mets!" You know what I mean? So it's like that's the team. This is the team that we actually like. Like we just prefer this brand. Everybody has a favorite brand. We've said this. This goes back to one of the first times I came on YouTube. I said, everybody prefers Coke over Pepsi or Pepsi over Coke, right? Nike over Reebok. Doesn't matter what it is.
Some
Mercedes
people are
over
like,
BMW.
RC Cola. I love that RC Cola.
I like RC Cola because it's cheap and tastes the same. Great. Good for you. That's great. That's not me personally. I don't mind spending the extra 40 cents for the better flavor, but that's me. You know, but there's other people who like RC Cola and Adirondack Cola just because it tastes and it's cheaper for them. That's the way it is. That's okay. So, I mean, that's why people like to buy, like you go into GameStop crap, right? There's always somebody in line that's still buying a 360 or a PS3 because they want to get all the games and everything dirt cheap. And they're like, so what? I know somebody that will buy an Xbox One or a PS4 when we're on the Scorpio and the Pro. They'll wait and then they'll buy it when it's dirt cheap. And that's just the way they game. Different strokes for different folks, people. You know what I mean? But us personally, we look forward to the next latest and greatest because we've been gaming for so long, you know? So you want something new.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Who do we got on deck there, J-Dubs?
We have Space Cat.
Okay. Space Cat.
Hey, what's up, Mooch and Crap? I was just wondering if there was any original Xbox game that you guys would like to see remastered at E3. What would it be? Okay.
Space Cat is just one of the best characters to ever be created.
Okay. Let's see. Original Xbox games. Maybe.
Can I abstain?
You can. Like maybe Mech Assault would be a good one. Crimson Skies might be a good one. Shenmue might be a good. KOTOR. There you go.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
All right, here we
You're
go.
like the guy with that flag, like yay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're like assassin. Yay.
You know,
Yeah,
that's the joke. Hope you like it.
I want a Ninja Gaiden remake. I want #1 remade, and I want Shaolin Monks remade.
If you want Ninja Gaiden remade, you got it. It's called Nihon on the PS4. Enjoy that difficulty level of 1,000 out of 100. That game is so hard. Like, forget when people say they would throw their controller on the floor and break it. This would make you just, like, tear your PS4 out of the wall. Like, that game is I love difficulty. I really, really do. And I have not dedicated 100% of time to it. But if you like that, I know you're still in the midst of grabbing a PS4. That game is made by the people who made Ninja Gaiden, I believe.
Yeah, but I say don't get it.
The only way I'm getting a PS4 is if somebody gives one to me for free.
You heard that here, folks.
Wow. There you go, folks.
Donate so that we can get, J-Dubs a PS4 so he can stream with MNC Mornings when we do PS4 games. All you have to do is donate today. So, yeah, for 27 cents a day. No, but, I wouldn't suggest getting that game, J-Dubs. Terrible.
Well, thumbs in the chat. I believe he's talking. He says I beat it. Listen, it's not that it's not beatable, and I believe if I actually I'm like whenever I'm waiting between games, I'll just click on Neo and try, and that's not the way to attack Neo. There's definitely rhyme, reason, and there's skill to it. But the game is definitely, I'm even playing some Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 is for me is like a cakewalk compared to Neo.
Yeah, I'm playing the 8-bit version of Dark Souls right now. It's called Wonder Boy. The Dragon's Trap.
Boy. Yeah.
I swear, like, if there was any comparison, if there was ever an 8-bit version of Dark Souls, it was this game, because there are some stages in this game that just make you want to throw your controller across the room. I almost broke my Elite twice.
Boy, all right, so not using Dark Souls, because you're referring to that in difficulty level.
Right.
Jay, for us nostalgic gamers, what game would you say Wonder Boy reminds you the most out of the NES, SNES, Genesis era?
If I was to give it a comparison, this is a really loose comparison, would be maybe Zelda 2.
Okay.
Because it's a side-scroller.
From what I've seen from your screenshots, I'm going to back you up on it. I think you're right.
Yeah, so it's a side-scroller, and you get to choose different, even a Castlevania. I mean, you can compare it to Castlevania really easily because of the, there's one of the games, Castlevania 2, I think is called Dracula's Curse. Is that the one where you can actually transform into different characters? I can't remember exactly, but there's one I remember so. You can and I think they probably took a lot from that game to create this one, where the different characters give you different powers and different abilities. And you basically choose the character for the mission. Whatever one's best. If there's an underwater mission, you basically pick the Piranha Man. If you're climbing walls, you pick the Mouse Man. Things like that. But yeah, I'd say Zelda 2 is a very good comparison.
Okay.
Castlevania and Metroid. Metroid for sure.
We got to bring something up though. And Jay, don't get me wrong. You're a fan of the show. You're a fan of that game. But realistically, Crap made a good point when he. I mean, don't you think $20 is a little high, or you really think it's worth every red cent?
Well, see, to me, it was worth every cent because of the nostalgic price alone. I would have paid probably $50 for this game, just for the amount of work they put into remastering it. I mean, we're not talking about just like up-resing graphics. We're talking about creating 8-bit pixels into hand-drawn animations with the boiling lines and the fluid motion. It's beyond. It's a beautiful game. You really have to try to believe it.
I agree with you, but I do want to say that here's the funny part. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. If you heard Jay just explain that last sentence of the game, it sounded like he was on peyote. He was like, the way that the colors affect. Wait. He said, where was I? Where am I? Oh, it's 2017. No, Jay, I'm with you because I fall victim to that. And I'm only holding on because I'm trying to get Yacht Club Games to drop the price from $20 2 years later. My nostalgia kind of comes with it. It's not a game that was out when we were younger, but the game reminds me of games we played when we were younger, and that was Shovel Knight. $20. I want that $20. Come on.
Yeah, but the difference is you're paying $20 for a game with 8-bit graphics.
Right.
Whereas with this game here, you're getting animation that looks like it's right out of Disney. It's so
I'll
good.
tell you, Jay,
we're talking about Wonder Boy.
$20.
And somebody in the chat was wondering what game we're talking about. It's this remake that's totally been redone. You can switch between the old 8-bit graphics and the new graphics. It's all hand drawn. It does look very nice.
It does.
It was like a Master System game back in the day, but it's $20. And J-Dubs absolutely loves it. He's been on that game like nonstop. I do see people are like, "Oh, Wonder Boy, that's great," but just for me, like $20. Damn.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. I guess I'm just shocked by it. I would think that it would. So, I mean, I got news for you. With Jay and how much he's talked it up, I'm going to grab Wonder Boy. I was just hoping to see it on a sale sometime soon. But then again, I got news for you. If it was that much time and effort that went into it, like Jay's saying, I got news for you. It's just not going to drop in price. Not anytime
and
soon.
the game doesn't hold your hand either, so there's a lot of figuring things out on your own. But it's so worth it. Like what you get out of figuring things out after like frustratingly going through levels over and over again and figuring out why the hell am I here, and then you realize, oh shit, I should have had the other character to do this level.
Yeah.
It's really fun, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get too lost in this thrilling Wonder Boy talk, who else we got on deck, J-Dubs?
We have Ripley.
Ripley.
Believe it or not.
Hey, Mooch Crap. It's Ripley. You guys have me on Twitter and on Xbox Live, so yeah. I just want always to tell you guys are doing a great job ever since 2013 of the reveal of the Xbox One. You guys been really talking a lot of sense, something that I've been always able to associate with. So again, keep up the good job of spreading good news about our preferred platform. And yeah, so my question actually for this week is, regardless of how awesome the Xbox One Scorpio is going to be, do you think that the media, even though a lot of people still think that it's not going to be 4K 60, even though Digital Foundry already said it will be, but do you guys think that the media still will be harping on it, being negative about the Scorpio even after the E3 and the launch, and how many good games we're going to get? Yeah. Okay. Well, have a good one, guys.
Welcome
Keep it
to
Xbox.
M&C Mornings with Ripley. Yeah, like, listen, I can already I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen now. People are going to harp on Microsoft and make it out to be a really bad thing because they're going to talk about Scorpio there, or probably some VR too. They're going to be like, too much hardware. No hardware.
Yeah.
They shouldn't talk hardware. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're going to talk about games and stuff like that too, but they're using the biggest stage in the world for gaming to talk about their new console. And I guess, I mean, that makes sense to them. It makes sense to me to do the price and the release date at E3, but to do everything else prior. But that's probably going to draw them some hate. But you already see, even Digital Foundry, who likes the Scorpio, and you've seen that guy Richard Ledbetter. He's like, did you see him polishing his
Yes, his Scorpio plaque? Yeah,
GPU. Yeah, like he was polishing it and stuff. So he likes it, but then whenever you see him, he still damage controls the Pro quite a bit, where he talks about, well, Horizon Zero Dawn is still one of the best instances of 4K. Well, he doesn't call it 4K, but it is 4K because that game's not 4K, by the way, that I've seen. So it's like, look, games are still going to look good on the Pro, but they're going to look much better on Scorpio just because of the graphical fidelity and things like that. And I've already said that like a million times. It's about the assets and the fidelity. Like, you can look at that Forza Motorsport Scorpio screenshot on a 1080p monitor, and you can still see a huge difference, right? That's what you're up against.
It's also in the wording crap. I think it was interesting what you just said. So they'll say it'll play better and look better on the Scorpio, but they'll say it's still good on the PS4 Pro. That I would have not had the stance I had years ago if that's how the media was. If the media said, yes, the PS4 vanilla plays your game at a little bit better resolution, but the Xbox One looks so good still. They didn't say that. They're like, the Xbox One is just, it just can't keep up. It doesn't look as crisp. Look, there's a shadow jaggy in the left-hand corner. Look at that. There's a little, see that right there? We're missing a little seaweed on the Xbox One version right there. You can't really see that as you're traveling 100 miles an hour on your boat in this game. And you're sitting there, and it was like all of this nonsense that didn't stop. It was just compiling, bashing Xbox over and over and over again. And a lot of people see that now. And now you see it on the other side, right? But you don't see Sony getting they don't get the shit talk. They don't get the slack. They're like, yes, the Scorpio will show it better, but Sony still looks good. Look how good this still looks. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like there's a compassion for Sony, but when the Xbox One, they're like, why would you buy the 900p when you can get the 1080p? That's what these gaming media sites were saying, and especially Digital Foundry was they were guilty of that. And now it's going to be interesting to see. I think Crap's right. I think you're going to see them say that Scorpio's better, but they're going to candy coat all of the PS4 Pro games to make it so that you can really make a decision on where your friends are and what games you like, and don't make a decision on just power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even though even though it's technically got these great assets and stuff on the Scorpio version, it's really a toss up. You know what I mean? Like if you look at, they were like, well, there's more grass on the GTA 5 on the PS4 version, so that's the one you should go with.
They really ran with that.
Yeah, they did. I thought it was a joke at first, and then
I did too. Someone sent me that, and I was like, "This is really cool. Who made this on YouTube? This is funny." And they're like, "No, that was actually IGN." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
Or Digital Foundry.
Yeah, Digital Foundry. Yeah, Digital Foundry. Because when I heard that, right, I was like, are they just messing with people to see how far like people will argue or something? But that was really a legitimate argument from Sony fanboys.
Yeah,
was that? So I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you crazy?" Who we got on deck, J-Dubs?
We have Mass Murders.
Nice.
Mass Murders.
Always a good calling.
Yeah.
Hey, Mooch. Hey, Crap. Hey, Graphic God. This is Mass Murder here, the king of all police station VR gaming. And I'm here to let you know we may have half your power and half of your guys' stuff, but we're still going to win the 4K battle. And just to let you know, Scorpio, with its 40% more power, it's going to boost all of its games and be way super and way better. But PS4 is the best, man. All right, guys. All right, Xbox She-Wolf. You guys have a good day. Bye.
Xbox She-Wolf.
I think he meant to say Xbot.
Oh, Xbox She-Wolf.
I don't
like,
know.
Xbox
Maybe not.
She-Wolf. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but yeah, it's good. That was more of a comment than.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Hey, I gotta say this though. The show has been fire today, and you know what? Before we leave today, I think we should definitely do the song again, just because I want to hear it again before we leave.
Just in case, Crap loves that song, man.
I'm just saying. Okay, so we do got someone on the second floor on deck. Let's go ahead and hear from Luca.
What is up? What is up, Mooch, Crap, and J-Dubs? I hope you guys are having a wonderful fucking morning on MNC. You know, I'm so happy this show is back. Like, it's fantastic, Mooch. I'm glad you're back. You know, everyone in the community is so happy that you've returned, and Crap is just ecstatic. You know that I'm just really happy. You know, I'm just really happy. So, you know, currently, right now, I am participating in this charity walk or whatever. So I can't listen to the show live, unfortunately. But I'm totally missing you guys, and I can't wait to listen tomorrow. Anyways, my question is, so Call of Duty, right? Everyone's been bagging on the game for all the futuristic shit for years, right? And everyone's been like, let's get boots on the ground, let's get boots on the ground. Well, since the game's going to be set in World War II, do you think that's finally enough to get people to chill on the game? Or do you think they'll just find another reason to complain about it? Also, are you guys going to pick it up? All right, that's it for me. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Luca is off the second floor and about to get run over by a dump truck from the sounds of it. So
he was on a walk, which is cool. No, Luca, that was great, man. Thank you so much for calling in, and it's good to be back. And it's because of great people in the community like you that this show actually exists. So actually, the thank you is back to you and everyone that calls in and everyone that tunes in every Sunday at 11. It's you
we
guys
didn't
that
even
run
advertise it that much this week. Usually, I'm like, make sure you guys call in, and I forgot to, and we still had quite a few call-ins. But yeah, Luca, me and Mooch have already resigned ourselves that we're going to get the new Call of Duty. It's boots on the ground. It's World War II. It's going to be fun. There's a beta. I'm excited for it. You know,
I'm down, Crap. I mean, I got to be honest with you. This to me, see, here's the thing. So everybody knows my stance on Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is beautiful. It's a great game if you want it. I endorse it because of the effort that went into it. The game is just amazing. However, it's not for me. But now that you're able to put this will be the year that Mooch actually gets to play the boots on the ground game in the Call of Duty World War II. I will say that, what was it there? Oh God, what was it? Something at War.
World at War?
World at War was one of my favorite Call of Duties ever to come out.
It was really, really good. Yeah.
I played it for endless hours. But everybody has all these other great stories about the original Call of Duty and, you know, the Call of Duty 4, the first Infinite, or was it there? Something Modern Warfare. Those were great. They were really great. But when it went back to World War II, I don't know, maybe it's again because of the era we grew up in. Like that was the war. Like that was the other thing that kind of took me out of Battlefield. I hate to say it. It was World War I. And anybody, we've all gone through history class. I don't care if you're from a foreign country or not, and you're listening. We all learned about these great, huge wars. And World War I, it didn't have that like lure factor when you were reading, and if you're a historian, that I think World War II had. World War II was truly a world. Everybody, even if they weren't involved with the war, it affected everybody. And I think it really hits home. I think it's like, crap, if you look at all the documentaries and things that are done, World War II videos and documentaries are like, they still sell like hotcakes. So Call of Duty, jumping to World War II and skipping over World War. I thought World War I was an interesting pick, but why would Battlefield not pick World War II? I don't know why they went with one. Just because, like I said, that World War, just even in class, even if I'm talking about like when you were in your whatever it was, your social studies class or whatever, like World War I didn't hold the clout that World War II had. Even your teachers would get more intense. There'd be many more weeks into the World War II thing. So I think that all resonates in the gaming too.
Are we even able to get a call?
I can't even hear after that ring. Yeah. I'm sorry.
MNC Mornings, maybe we can hear you. What's up? Who's calling in? Yellow.
Can we get a live call today? That would be great.
Yeah. Yellow.
If not, I do understand. We'll be back with live calls next week. We did run into a little bit of a technical difficulty prior to the show, and we said.
All right, this is So X-Man, and I have a question since you guys are talking about Call of Duty. With it being backwards compatible and now being the #1 online game being played on Xbox One, and all the Sony hate because of it, I would like your opinions on this wonderful situation. Thanks again. Talk to you guys another time.
I think it's going to sell well. Call of Duty will sell well on Xbox regardless, just because we have the better controller. We are going to play online. We are going to play the cheer song one more time before we leave. Trust me. It's going to be like a staple around these parts, folks. Look, better online, better controller, better voice chat. Like it's always going to be better. So Call of Duty sells itself on Xbox. I think it's going to be a really good time. I think Microsoft is going to be able to, because they're already talking about it, and if you look at even Destiny, remember the first Destiny, and despite Sony having all those marketing rights and Microsoft couldn't even mention it, in the US that first month, it sold better on Xbox One in the MPD. So, I mean, say all you want, even though the MPD at that time didn't count the bundled versions or whatever, and it did probably outsell overall. But as far as the physical sales in the US that first month, it sold best on Xbox One. And I think that says a lot about the brand, and I think that it's going to continue to grow and be a great brand. Obviously, Scorpio is going to help that tremendously.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said there, basically. I do think that Microsoft has, I mean, every year that Sony still has had the marketing rights, even if Sony's won the month-to-month, the numbers are still so close because people just want the reliability of Xbox Live, and the controller just feels more at home. They really do. And I mean, people in the Major League Gaming circuit, they'll never be able to come out and say it. They just can't. Even if marketing rights flip-flop back and forth, they can't come out and say it because they're too invested in that world. But realistically, it's all about, like, people prefer the Xbox controller in Major League Gaming. I would say most would probably, if it was a silent ballot, where people wouldn't know and it was anonymous, I guarantee you that Microsoft's controller would win hands down every single vote.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Okay, J-Dubs, who do we got on deck? LMNOPO?
Yeah, I apologize for writing his name out phonetically the way I do, but I don't speak Spanish, so I apologize.
LMNOPO.
Mr. LMNOPO here, and just wanted to say, guys, fantastic job once again. I got a question. So more next Xbox news. It's going to be revealed at E3, apparently, from the invitations that went out. Guys, honestly, a lot of people are saying it's going to look like that dev kit picture. No, I don't think so. Come on. It's not going to have 20 buttons on the front of it. It's not going to have some LED display, like how many frames per second. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I want to know, what do you guys think it's going to look like? I think it's going to look like opposite of the symmetrical, square, rectangular look that I like on the S. But I think it's going to look more premium. more like a really nice something with angles on it, almost like a not pyramid, but it's going to have triangles or something. I think it's going to look more artistic this time. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts. And plus, black or white?
Well, I'll tell you, he makes a good point, and that's wishful thinking, LMNOPO. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think they can deviate too much. They're going to want to definitely be different enough so it doesn't look like an Xbox One S. But I don't think they're going to deviate to the point where you're going to get different kind. The thing is not going to look like a trapezoid. It's just it's got to fit in people's entertainment centers. It has to be able to. And now if they're going to have back cooling, right, not the vents on top, that means that you can stack it. And I'm saying that. I don't know if that's true, but I would assume if there's no ventilation on the top, what's the difference if you put something on top of it? Nothing.
Yeah, who's going to put shit on top of their console, though?
Well, crap, it's funny you say that, and I understand where you're coming from, but, there's pictures when that was all being discussed about how big and clunky the Xbox One original one was and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, look at my PS4. I got it between a pizza, and I got it between a couple of books. And I'm like, what? I still don't understand the whole vertical thing. I will never in my life understand, unless you're, in a some sort of nuclear submarine, which in that case, what are you doing playing video games? I don't understand what in God's green earth you would want to put your console vertical for. People are like, well, space, Mooch. And then they sent me pictures and they've got 5 McDonald's wrappers, 3 cups. I'm like, well, just clean up and you can put the thing down. I don't know. People, there's astronaut pens you can buy so you can write written upside down, but how many graphic novels are you writing hanging like fucking Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
I don't know what are people doing where they have to, I don't get it. Every entertainment center comes with 80 slots for gaming machines and equalizers and cable boxes. You don't need to put it vertically next to your television. I think that's just people trying to be different. Look, I'm different. I have my Xbox standing vertically. Congratulations.
Well, I think they should do something special with the Scorpio. You know how when the 360 came out, it had that little bit of a curve to it. It doesn't have to be dramatically different, but maybe just add a little subtle little change to it just to make it stand out from everything else. That's
listen, here's my thing. So Griffin Gaming, he says, I have it vertical in my dorm because my desk is small. Well, put it on the back of your desk or something. How small is your desk? I don't understand that. My other thing is this, doesn't it just feel wrong? So when you put your Xbox One S or your PS4 or whatever you like, vertical, and you put the disc into it, it feels like everything is just going to gravity's going to take over and just everything's just going to right on your desk. It's the same thing if you go, well, Mooch, what are you talking about? Do me a favor. Go to your favorite buffet in your local area. I want you to stuff your face with as much of your favorite food and then immediately go lay down on the couch horizontal. You don't feel good. It just doesn't feel right. Can your body handle it? Absolutely. But it just feels weird to stuff your face and then go lay on the couch. You kind of want to, people even say to you in the health world, you should walk around after you get done eating or at least stand up, right? You don't want to lay down after a full day. It's the same thing. It just feels weird to put the disc in the machine and you know that all the components are relying on those couple of bolts that are holding in the boards. That's an interesting sound.
Yeah, what is that sound, Jay?
I think that's the sound when Mooch is right.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what that was.
Thank you.
I agree.
So,
I don't know.
That's my vertical rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think I took it somewhere else with that.
You were all over the place. I'm like, wow, Mooch ran on vertical
Sorry about that.
consoles. Interesting. Who do we got on deck there, J-Dubs?
We have Justin Burt.
Awesome.
Hello. I just wonder, what are the rumored 4K 60 FPS games, and which one you think are the most plausible? Thank you for having me on.
What was the question, Crap?
So I think what he was saying was, with the rumors of the 4K 60 games that are coming out, which ones are the more plausible ones?
Okay, of the remakes or of possibly future? I mean, I'm looking forward to, and I wish Rod Ferguson would actually talk to this because he's made these odd innuendos and points, but we never really truly got an answer out of him. Is Gears gonna be my single player? I want to play single player Gears of War 4 in 4K 60 single player.
Yeah.
I don't care how he makes it happen. I don't care if it means I can't play with others. It means I can't play campaign co-op. I can only play alone in my own little world. I want to play Gears, right? There's such a difference in the way the game looks and feels when you go from multiplayer in Gears to single player. I want it to look like the multiplayer feel, fit, and form on my single player game. I'd play the game over twice if I could, if it looked like that. I mean, that's my game that I want to see 4K 60. But I mean, as far as new games come out, I think you're gonna. So first party games a lot of them are gonna give you 4K 60 options. I don't know about third party.
Yeah. Third party, I still think we're going to see a good influx of 4K third. Like they said, if it's a game engine that's designed to run, 30 frames per second, it's going to be 30 frames per second. If it's 60, it'll be 60. Like they've designed it to do that. So I think like stuff like Call of Duty is going to be good. I think it's going to be 4K 60. Stuff like Battlefront 2, 4K 60, Red Dead, 4K probably 30. Just because I think that's what those games run at.
Right.
That engine is like a 30 FPS engine, so I wouldn't expect 60 on that at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember, guys, this is clearly a mid-generation upgrade. Okay. Scorpio 2 will be releasing around the vicinity of the PS5. Okay. That's just the way that Phil has it planned. He's not going to ever be caught underpowered again. And what Microsoft did with the Scorpio is they didn't break the bank to make it. That's the whole thing. That's the beauty of the Scorpio, is they gave you so much more using components that are pretty much every day that they just tweaked with engineering, software, DX12, all written into the code. They got rid of the ESRAM. They got rid of the bottlenecks, and they're going to give you this power. But in 2 years, when PS5 comes, get ready for whatever will be the successor to Scorpio, a.k.a. Scorpio 2. Phil said it a number of times now that they're ready to launch. They are ready to launch when, basically, they didn't say when the PS5, but they're ready and they're already planning it. And it takes 2 to 3 years to do that. And these graphical boosts now, crap, are not that hard anymore, right? They're going to have PS5 and Scorpio 2 are going to have Ryzen in it and Vega, right? I mean, we already know what's
well, it's not Ryzen; it's using Vega elements or whatever. But
no, I said PS5 and Scorpio 2.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean,
you know what I mean. So we know that they're just going to go in and grab whatever the latest and greatest is from AMD at that point. This is easier for both companies now. They have the architecture all ready to rock and roll. So this is what it is, and that's why Scorpio is going to be so great for the next 2-3 years. You're going to get, until the next generation comes out, you're going to get the greatest, most powerful console on the Xbox side, and it's been a while since you've been able to say that.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think that what gets lost in the whole thing is something that I said earlier. It's not so much about resolution. Like the 4K stuff is great, but just looking at the graphical fidelity and the textures and things like that, the stuff that the Pro can't do. You know what I mean? Like, due to the bandwidth and the actual memory in the Scorpio, it's so much more than what's in the PS4. So, you know what I mean? I just think that, and again, Sony doesn't really have much of a need to rush out and do a PS5 right now. I'm sure they're probably waiting and seeing what Scorpio does.
No, they really don't, crap, because of what we said in our last question. Okay, they have the PS4 Pro, which is going to get the same amount of praise for the most part as Scorpio in the media. Yeah. So it's gonna make people not necessarily jump ship so much from the PS4 brand over. I think some will. I think some will start to become multi-console homes again because of Scorpio.
Yeah.
Which is what Microsoft wants. Microsoft isn't necessarily going to create a new gamer with Scorpio. What they're going to try and do is regain some of the casuals they lost from 360 to PS4.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. 100%. Who do we got left?
We have HUD Zero.
HUD Zero. Let's do it.
Hey, this message is for Mooch and Crep. How you doing? This is HUD Zero, the old school gamer, and of course the Ironheart of Xbox and the Phantom of YouTube. I just wanted to say that you guys are doing an awesome job and love your show. Unfortunately, I'm not able to catch your live segments because of work scheduling and of course, but I just want to say that you guys are absolutely awesome. I love your opinion pieces. I just have a simple question. What do you think about the pricing of Project Scorpio? And I'm pretty sure that everyone's been throwing around these two numbers, $399, $499. So really, judging by what Phil Spencer said, I believe that $399 is the perfect price point. But what do you think? Do you think it actually makes more sense for $399 to be the entry point to build more swell in the market? But once again, thanks again. You're awesome. I want to see more stuff. I'm hoping to catch you guys live. Later.
Awesome call in. You know, it's funny. Just to answer HUD real quick. Well, before I get to HUD's question, I do want to say that I'm almost more interested in what the name of Scorpio is going to be than the price, right? Because I mean, let's be honest. If it's $400 or $450 or $499, if you're already nodding your head, I'm going to buy Scorpio. Yes, I'm going to buy it. The $499 and $399, I highly doubt is going to retract many of those folks. I'm more interested in the name, but I don't know, crap. It is getting more and more interesting to say. It's conflicting when you read what Phil has said. Phil has said premium. He said, please do understand it may be a little bit more. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but it could be a little bit more. If it's a little bit more than $399, it's kind of out, right? That would make it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anybody ever launch with a $449. That sounds odd, right?
Yeah, like it would be $399 or $499 depending on.
What do you think, crap? What do you?
I think $399.
I think it's $399. They eat whatever they lose.
Yeah, you know what? Like I was on $499 train when we thought
Me
it would
too.
have like some kind of rise in or something, but and I thought they would even eat cost on that. But the fact that they're using JAG cores on the CPU and stuff, and they're using a lot of stuff from the Xbox One S, including like the whole back panel with the slots and the same 4K Blu-ray drive and all that stuff. So I definitely think that we're going to see a $399 price point. That makes the most sense to me.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. I think that Microsoft has to. They got to pony up. No pun intended. And they got to put the money out there and say we'll eat this. We want our casuals back.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
The casuals come with power.
Yep. We got Diggity on deck.
Oh, it's always good. Diggity.
And let's get to 300 likes, folks. Quick.
If we can get to 300 likes, that would be fantastic.
What is up, Mooch Crap and J Dubs? This is Dirk Griggity here. Hey, I was wondering, am I the only one that's going through something as far as games go right now? I'm going through I don't know how to put it. I don't really want to play them until the Scorpio comes out. Is that just me? I mean, I played Mass Effect, I played some other games, and I have no desire to finish them until the Scorpio comes out. I don't know if it's just me, but these games are sitting here. I'm playing some of them because that's what I do, but I'm up here like, man, I don't really want to touch them. I don't want to play them. I just want to just let them sit here and wait till Scorpio comes out, then enjoy them in 4K or whatever it's going to be. So one more quick thing. I got to say, I'm kind of surprised by Voodoo Vince. I was expecting some bullshit, to be honest with you. I was expecting, like Zaire said, who asked for Voodoo Vince? I didn't ask for it, but like Crap said, Options is great. And this game is pretty good, man. I mean, I remember when it came out, I literally remember picking this game up at GameStop, looking at the back of the cover and say, I'm not buying this shit, and never thought twice about it. But I got to admit, man, the game is pretty fun. I got to admit. But anyway, that's all I got. Peace out.
Yo, Diggity, great call.
Yeah, definitely a great call. Do you want to kind of handle that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I think that, let me start with the Voodoo Vince thing. And then I want to retract that. The reason he's not playing the games, I think I went through it maybe 6 months ago. You kind of go through a part where you're like, there's so many games out right now. I think you're just, it gets frustrating, especially when you're trying to keep up with everything. Social media is constantly talking about what's new and what's coming out. And are you going to hop on the bandwagon? And then it seems like once social media leaves a game, you feel like if you put it on, you're already playing an old game, even though it's 3 weeks old. It's the gaming industry has never been in a better position. They keep saying that they're in a bad position and this and that. There's people buying games just because games are new now. And that's always been the case, but now it's to an nth degree. Right, Crap? If somebody says something to you like, hey, I'm playing whatever, and they're like, that game came out in February. And you're like, yeah, February 2017, right? We would play games that we bought for 2 years back when we were younger. And now it's people are pointing the finger, being you're playing that old game? That game's 4 weeks old. And you're like, what? That's not old. And it's like, I think you just kind of get wrapped up in all that and you get a little frustrated because like a lot of people in the chat are like, I have such a huge backlog to get over and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just take each game at your own pace and you'll start to see that you'll slow down on certain things, maybe hapless spending. I mean, I'm really enjoying going through the BioShock collection and I'm really enjoying going through Dark Souls, and I'm just taking my time through those 2 games. And yes, there are other newer games that are kind of building up on the backlog. Well, you have one of 2 options, people, right? You can either play some of your older games and the new games become backlog, or you can play your new games and let the old games become backlog. It's up to you. It's really, at the end of the day, it's 6 of one, half dozen the other. You end up at the exact same place no matter where you started. So personally, I'm playing some of the older games right now because from now, basically until we get to August, September, it is a lot of just catching up on your backlog. Yes, Prey's coming out, but maybe some people are into that. Some people are probably going to be into Injustice, but I don't think that's going to hold people much more than the fighting community that's out there. You know, the people that like, you know, the Killer Instincts and the Mortal Kombats of the world.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you have a lot of time right now. You have take your time. It's still the end of April. You have from April all the way to like the middle end of August to get through good 3, 4, 5 of your like solid titles. And I think for anybody that goes to work 9 to 5, that's what it is. As far as Voodoo Vince goes, I've been saying I'm going to start it up, but every time I go to turn on my Xbox, it's either like, even last night I was playing BioShock 2, and then all of a sudden J-Dubs hits me up and he's like, Little Dead Island, which we would like to get Crap involved, but Crap is, he's cutting Z's by the time me and J-Dubs get on.
Yeah, well, it's like, last night, like you were like, hey, yeah, I'm going to do some streaming, but then, like I said, I fell asleep, so it was a difficult situation because I had to get up and work and then come back in time for the show, so it's difficult.
Right.
And we got Bam, Def Jam Bam on deck.
Def Jam Bam. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Yep.
Thanks for the call, Diggity.
Yes.
What's going on, Mooch and Crap? J-Dubs, how y'all doing today? Hey, I was just thinking, you know, being that E3 is always in Los Angeles every year, would y'all like to see E3 in another state? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing an E3 in New York or, you know, somewhere in Jersey, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with, you know, spreading the love a little bit. But let me get your opinion on that. And also, hey, we know another group of people who need that good game refund right about now. Sony could use that. You know, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of customers that want to get rid of that No Man's Sky. Trash. Fucking trash. But hey, that's all I got for y'all right now.
Yo,
everybody in the comment section, hit that 1.
He's still going.
Just because. Peace.
In all honesty, that is a great question. That was me, and I believe if I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. But L Boogie, who's on Twitter, we were kind of going back and forth. I think Bam probably caught wind of it. I was asking earlier in the week that we finally have, you know, E3 needs to make its way East Coast. You know, enough's enough. I think they should rotate it. If the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl moves from coast to coast now, I'm certain that E3, you know, we've got a lot of, it's media built, right? Another Mooch is correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Good one.
This is a great game show. Hope I win the car and both showcase showdowns. But listen, you know, my thing is this. I think that New York needs to get it. There's the new Javits Center. I think I'm saying it's either Javits or Javits Center in New York. Thing is gorgeous. It's brand new. It can house, I think, way better quality of, and the technology is way better in that building than what's currently at that E3 stadium that they currently use in LA. And this isn't a jab at LA. I mean, you guys have had it for so long. Like, let's get over here. I'm just kind of, you know, it's held in June. So all you people are like, I don't like snow. Well, it's hot. Okay. It's hot in June in New York.
Hold it in Florida. Come on.
No, let's not hold it in Florida. I mean, people will just melt. But, you know, but nonetheless, I think Jersey, I think New York, I think maybe Boston. Let me include all of my East Coast brothers and sisters. I think you should get, you know, Baltimore involved, Washington, D.C. Rotate this bad boy. And I think that's easier said than done. But I do think that the L.A., New York thing should be split. Let's let us be able to go over, because, you know, it's not just a ticket. People are like, Mooch, when are you going to buy your ticket for E3? It's not just, and forget the fan festing. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm talking about just E3. If I want to get an E3 ticket, I've got to apply for a ticket. Then I've got to get a flight. Then I've got to get a room and board down there for 3 to 5 days. And people in LA have been able to, I have a ton of friends in New York City, tons of friends in New York City. I could go and do what everyone's doing in LA. Like everyone on the West Coast, they go down to E3 and they spend time with family and friends and they have free lodging and food, and then they just buy the E3 ticket. Like we could do that here. The only difference is over here we have to buy the E3 ticket, a $600 round trip ticket to LA, which if you're not buying a direct flight, which you're going to get with maybe Southwest from New York, the only other thing you're going to do is 2-3 stops, which is just a miserable day of travel. And the LA people are like, well, we don't want that. I understand you don't want that, but that's what we've had to do for the past, X years. Like I'm saying for the next 3 years, it should be in New York. And it's hard. It's a hard sell because who am I selling it to? All the people that work currently for Microsoft and Sony offices are all on the West Coast. So it's so hard to make that transition. But I think it's fair, and I think it's doing some due diligence. It's the same thing with the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl makes way more money than E3 does, trust me. And the Super Bowl goes from Arizona to Florida. We had it in New York a couple of years ago. You know, so I mean, you can't say that it can't be done. And I think it's just fair. It's not bashing on LA at all. I think LA should get it back in 3-4 years because LA is a great city. It's an amazing place to be. But in June of all months is a great time to be in New York and experience what we have over here.
Flip-flops that cover their big toe, though. I mean, I'm not sure.
In LA, yeah, they do. The West Coast does have there's some odd things out there, you guys. But whatever, it's a new generation. We're all trying to adapt. Maybe in New York we can cover the pinky toe in a sandal. Who the hell knows? But it is what it is. I think that was a good question.
Yeah, good question. Let's go ahead and do the Wheel of Wonder.
Okay. Should I put them in? Do you want to be in presentation mode, Jay?
Just give me one more moment. I'm just preparing it all. I want to make sure everything's going to actually work this time. But yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
In case anyone's wondering what Jay looks like when he's going through through M&C Mornings, just watch Apollo 13 when they were re-entering the surface of the Earth.
That's about the equipment we're working with too.
Jay's like, you need duct tape, you need salt, you need a little bit of rope, and if you can tie that all together and get Gary Sinise involved, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. So this is what Jay goes through with the materials we've given him. You should see the ideas crap that we throw at him, right? We're like, Jay, what we'd like you to do is make 3D quality images of us that dance around in a holographic form. And he's like, what are you talking about? I have an iPad.
Yeah. The funniest thing was when we were doing your character. And we were making fun of it because you were like, it looks.
I like how you always go back to this story. Thanks, crap. Yeah,
because it was looking like the it was looking like the damn Philadelphia Eagles mascot. So
I'm a Giants fan and I can't stand it.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny though. But
thank you, guess. Crap always goes back to the lowest common denominator.
To his credit, it looks good. I like it. So
I think it looks great.
I think we're ready to go, guys.
Okay,
right.
let's rock
I'm going to put you in presentation mode.
Good.
Okay.
Yahtzee.
Okay, here we go. So this is for Minecraft and the Minecraft Builders Pack that was donated by Crap Attack 614, I believe his name was. So thank you very much to Crap Attack. I believe he must be a crapaholic.
That's a great name.
Confirmed.
That is a great name. Crap Attack.
Okay, here goes the spin.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
There's a lot of people in there.
That is. Diggity. Nice.
Diggity wins. He wins.
Diggity wins.
He wins. That's pretty awesome. And it looks like next week we're going to be able to do the big giveaway from the Patreon supporters and things like that. So that is cool. That is cool. We're going to have to tune in for that. I say we end the show with our new in presentation mode, by the way, and also in studio mode with our new sponsor song, and then we can ride that right out.
Let's ride that right out, right, Crap? Yeah, I'll keep you in presentation mode, Jay. You can roll right through the two. Is that okay, or do you need time in between?
He's
you guys want to hear? You guys want to hear something crazy?
Yeah,
absolutely.
We've been in studio mode nonstop.
Okay, yeah, it sounds much better now. Like there's no loud echoes and stuff.
So I have a feeling that Google it compensated for removing all the bullshit effects and gave us some better quality audio in our show. So
Well, if that's
pretty
the
awesome.
case, I'll take it.
Yeah.
okay, so let's play our sponsor ad one more time.
Do you need time in between the ad, Jay, and the outro?
No, I do not.
Okay, so we'll
everyone
see
do
you
that
guys
then.
next week.
Yes.
Hit that like button, and here's our new sponsored ad and our outro. And thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Yes, please like and subscribe to the Mooch. Thank you.
Yes. Enjoy.
Making your way on the interweb today takes everything you got. Taking your head and all your worries about Microsoft's Xbox. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you gotta go where everybody hates the same, and they're always mad at change. You wanna be where you can see the ponies are all the same. You wanna be where everybody hates Bill Gates. You wanna be where ponies know the media is all the same. You wanna go where everyone loves Sony.